Are we actually live? That's the new question. It looks like we are. Okay, we are live. We are live. It does appear that we are live. We're all good. We're all good. Welcome back. After our brief intermission, that has become relatively standard now on the Tomato Sauce streams, where unfortunately sometimes OBS just decides to crash, and there's not really much we can do about it. That time it was actually OBS lost connection, but my internet seemed fine, which is why I was able to type immediately. My music playing on YouTube didn't even stop, so that was just an OBS disconnect thing. Who even knows, but it is what it is. Baseball looks better. Be careful. Don't free secret order. Careful of what, Meek-chan? Free secret order because they're going to add Handy Lady and Rush Duelings. I don't know if that like fixes anything. It's true Tier 0 was Tomato's internet connection. True. I do think it's funny how a deck is either bad or it's OTK in some way. And on paper, Utopia bad, but in practice, ooh cheese. I mean, basically, right? Any deck that has the ability to kill your opponent in one turn has potential in this meta. The issue is, if your deck doesn't kill your opponent in one turn, you now have to ask yourself why you're playing it. Right? Because it now has to do something else exceedingly well. Otherwise, why aren't you just OTKing like everyone else, right? It's a crime to say that baseball can be better than sevens. In this boring. In this boring! Ban the free secret order from the skill. I wrote it wrong. I see, I see. I think, as things stand, because the only reason I was justifying Light Galaxy having a free plus on their skill was because they needed something to stay above Dark Galaxy. Because, I mean, as we saw, Chaos Galaxy was an insanely strong deck, right? As we saw, when they had 2 copies of Dark Hole Device, Dark Galaxy was still a really, really powerful deck. If Dark Galaxy had a skill that gave them a +1, Dark Galaxy would have just been the best deck, realistically. So, because Dark Galaxy got nerfed, I don't think there is a reason to justify Light Galaxy's skill still giving them a +1. That's how I... Mouse move. No, don't say that. Don't say that. Wait, did my mouse move? I'm gonna stare at it. I'm gonna stare at it. But it's one of those... Again, at the time, when the skills came out, it made sense. After hitting Dark Galaxy, I don't think it makes sense that the skill still gives them a +1. That's my takeaway from that. Not bad on paper, it just doesn't have any ways to pierce. But oh well, pressure. It's just true. I mean, that's the thing. If we had the ability to play like Piercing Samurai, maybe you'd play like mid-range. No, I don't even think you'd still do that. Nah, I think realistically, pressure exists, so that's always going to be the way to play the deck. People don't ready for this talk. But the plants have piercing and are better than Red Boot if they don't draw a boss. It's also better to compare decks based on the higher end potential, and for that reason, baseball cards are better. I mean, basically, right? It's like how much can we high roll, right? We are back. Welcome back. Hidden Bankai. I think baseball is better than sevens. It's one of those things again. What I really don't think. Like, Red Boot, E-Hero, Spellcaster, Baseball, tier thing, these decks are all kind of on the same page. Like, whether or not you win with these decks, like, apart from Spellcasters, even including Spellcasters a lot of ways, it just depends on what hands you draw in the game. Like, you can't really play around any of these decks. It's just, if they have it, they have it. And you just need to have the out if they high roll. That's kind of how it feels. Seven's got so much fake support. Well, the biggest thing with sevens right now is I think you have to rely on riding to do a lot of the heavy lifting in sevens. Like, that's how you sack with sevens. It's do you open riding or not? Because if you open riding, there's a good chance riding will stop you from dying a turn. Now, it's not always going to, but like, again, we're talking about probability. There's a chance that riding will keep you alive for the turn you need to then hit them back. So, like, the way you sack people with sevens is you just open traps. It's just, like, really weird. I think Rebels are better than sevens. I mean, again, if Rebels high roll, they're still a really strong deck. They just have to high roll. That's all it is, right? Dark Galaxy best deck by far. 7's got hit so much quick support. Like Dealer and Curse change literally nothing about the deck. So the issue with Dealer is really good at fixing hands, right? It's really, really good at that. The problem is 7s don't need their hand fix because their skill does that. And then it's like, okay, well, what else does Dealer do? Dealer is really good at setting up your graveyard. It's like, okay, 7s don't need that because their skill does that. It's like, okay. What's the other thing that Dealer does, right? It lets you turbo through your deck to find the key combo pieces so that you can kill your opponent. Like, that's why we use it in something like Heroes, right? Because we need to find the important cards. Like, we need to find Circulation. That gets us going even deeper. Or we need to find Miracle Fusion. Or we need to find the correct fusion pieces. Avian is obviously a really big choke point of the deck. And it's like, okay, well, spellcasters don't need that because the skill searches everything they could possibly need except for the trap cards. So it's like, Dealer doesn't do... Like, it's still not bad in 7s. It's just it doesn't do anything that... The deck doesn't need Dealer. The deck doesn't need it at all. Now, again, Curse, still a really good card. If you open it going second and your opponent doesn't play around it, insane value, right? You get to attack over something, you get access to their life points, you get a free +2. Getting, like, a Pot of Greed is insane, right? The problem is, everyone who is intelligent these days is playing around Curse. That's what we see in tournaments all the time. It's just how people play the game now, right? People with heads on their shoulders will go, what is the likelihood you're playing Curse? Okay, do I just lose to Curse? Yes, okay, I'm going to play around Curse, right? Now, some people will take the risk. They'll be like, oh, Light Galaxy doesn't usually play Curse. And sometimes they get punished for that. But that's just how the game goes, right? The problem is, again, neither of those cards have had a ridiculous impact on the meta. They're kind of just more sack cards. It's like, did my opponent play around it? No. Did I open it? Yes. Did I go second? Yes. Okay, I get rewarded. I get to sack, right? That's kind of it. 7s Bros. Hello, Bismuth. Welcome. Also, I read Bismuth's new... Because Bismuth now does the... Where is it? The Duel Links meta snapshots. These are also really good. Everyone should read these. We got the speed format one, and we have the rush format one. Bismuth has been posting these on Discord, on Twitter, or on X, every week for ages and ages and ages, but now he started posting them on DLM with a bit of, you know, narrative to go with it. So this is really, really good. Everyone should check these out. 100%. I think Beast Gear are better than Baseball. I don't know about that one. Maybe Trap 7s can work. I don't know. I mean, Trap 7s has had the best results as of late, but it is what it is, right? Just draw better. It may be a matter of taste, Baseball or 7s. The thing is, I don't think it is a matter of, like, taste. In terms of, like, taste to me is... The decks are basically the same, but which one do you prefer? This is more like they have different playstyles, right? And it's more... I guess maybe it is just comes down to, like, what you prefer, really. Fundamentally, one is, like, do you want to just try and high roll? Yes, okay, play this. The other one is, like, do you want to try and not get high rolled and then just win if you don't get high rolled? Right? It's kind of a weird one. Santa Mill best deck? No. It could stay in hell. Maybe skills shouldn't give free shit all the time, just on principle. I think, though, again, I don't want to, like, disagree, but some skills need to be busted. The problem is when we give good skills to good decks. That is the issue. Again, Baseball deck, that skill needed to be exactly what it is. It maybe needed just a little bit extra than what it already has. But, like, anything less than what the Baseball deck does, and that deck is ass, right? The Spellcaster deck, anything less than what the Spellcaster deck is already doing, and this deck is ass. The issue is, like Galaxy, could have a little bit less in what the skill is doing, and still be fine. This is the problem, is we've given an already really strong deck a really strong skill. And that's where you kind of lose me. Because it's the same thing in Speed, where, like, sometimes there'll be a deck that you're like, this deck is fine without a skill. It's not going to be, like, the best deck in the game, but it's a playable deck. It's strong. It will be, like, a tier 3 deck, for sure. And then Konami slap, like, a really busted skill on it, and you're like, why? Why have we done this? But it's like, another example of this is like the heroes in, and I guess to a certain extent Utopia as well, in Speed. Which is, those decks without those skills would be garbage. Now the issue is, those skills were a bit too good, right? But they needed to be insane to be able to play these boss monsters that were basically not really designed to ever actually be summoned. So like, getting out Rainbow Neos is such a pain, right? Getting out armed Neos is next to impossible. So you needed the skill to like do that heavy lifting for you. Otherwise, you're just not ever using those cards. But again, the skills were overtuned. You didn't need a super poly attached to it. You didn't need all the extra bells and whistles. You didn't need every turn to be able to just cheat out a level 10, right? Etc, etc. Yeah, and Resonator is a great one. Resonator, I think, would have been a fine tier 3 deck on release with no skill. But the skill they got was so good, right? Now, it wasn't like an insanely overpowered skill, but it was still a really good skill for an already really good deck. Why no Divine Neos? No one likes Divine Neos. No one really likes any Neos. Amazing Dealer, don't do too much in 7. Same thing in Hero. The Dealer is a matter of taste. It is actually really important in Heroes, in my opinion. I think people that aren't playing in Hero are playing Hero wrong. That deck is so... It is so important to just dig through your deck immediately as soon as possible. And Dealer absolutely does everything the deck needs. Like, Dealer is so valuable in Heroes that I think not playing it is sort of trolling. Pays 300, so you... so you die more easily. I mean, that's fine. Die more easily is a-okay. Don't worry about that. Smart people play around Curse. Why are you gonna call me out like this? I mean, again, it's on ladder. I don't think it matters as much, right? Because ladder is just kind of a playground. You just kind of do whatever. OP baseball skill on the rerun with Captain 39. Trust. I mean, could be. Right? They absolutely could do. Light Galaxy could have a lot bit less. Yeah, I don't know. Light Galaxy is just like, it's so strong, right? There's no... Right now, if someone told me, right, we're doing a tournament, the winner gets, I don't know, $10,000, right? What deck are you taking, realistically? Right? Are you telling me in like a tournament where the actual prize money is a significant amount, you're not going to take Light Galaxy? Because if you say you take anything else, right, outside of people who are just trolling or people that are just playing to have fun, anyone that actually wants that money, they're taking Light Galaxy, realistically, right? You're not taking anything else. No one likes gods. Nah, gods are great. What are we talking about? Resonator is good because Crimson Gaia and not the skill. Yeah, I mean, a lot of what it has, like Starlight is obviously really good. Like, a lot of just everything that deck does. But the thing is, the skill does give you the free trap card, which is still really useful. And it gives that extra point of interaction. Why play around it when OP won't draw? Hero, I really don't like playing Light Galaxy. I've tried, but they just feel so bad. See, in my opinion, I actually think, out of all of the decks here, the deck I enjoy playing the most is actually Light Galaxy. Because it's one of those things where I'm a bit bored of the deck because the deck's been around for too long. It's winning absolutely everything. So, like, the snowflake in me is like, oh, I don't want to play this deck anymore. But it's genuinely the most fun. It has the most interesting combo lines. It has the highest skill ceiling. It does, like, the most with the least amount of, like, cards required. The skill is really, really fun. Like, the way that you play the deck is still really enjoyable. And making a giant guy and giving it piercing and attacking over stuff is still really fun. It's just, it's too good. It's too strong. And it's getting boring because it's been around for too long. That is my only gripe with Light Galaxy. I actually still think this deck is so much fun to play. But, again, I can like the deck, but I still understand it's flawed. I had the exact same problem with Gaia. I thought Gaia was really, really fun, but also really unhealthy for the game. Tomato, are you telling me that Meeg-chan is cope? Yes. Hero is just like Galaxy with extra steps. I mean, basically, right? Hero is in a weird spot as well. Where, how does Hero beat your opponent if they just put everything sideways? Like, you just put everything in defense, how does a Hero player kill you? Because now it's like, you have to commit to playing something. If your opponent's playing around Curse, Curse isn't going to do it. So now it's like, are you playing, like, Piercing Samurai? But even Piercing Samurai is kind of cope, because a lot of the time Piercing Samurai isn't going to give you enough to like just OTK. Like, a lot of the time Piercing Samurai be enough to like get you going a little bit. I've seen some people say, oh, just make like a Flame Wingman and start attacking over their defense position monsters and burning them to death. And I'm like, brother, you are going to die if you leave a Flame Wingman in attack position. They are just going to murder you. Like Galaxy gonna kill you. Realistically, Red Boot is probably just gonna kill you. I mean, Sevens is gonna bully you, and I guess Sevens is probably the best matchup you're gonna have there, because Sevens aren't gonna kill you, and they're gonna leave something in attack, and then you're gonna turbo into like a Shining Flare, maybe 2, because they've now left monsters in attack position. You can now attack over them and kill them. That's probably the best chance you're gonna get. Probably the best choice, Light Galaxy, Hero, and High Tech. Light Galaxy is really fun. Activating Boat. Activating Boat. Activating Boat. Extraplorer is a really cool card, I'm just saying. It's a really OP card in a lot of ways, but it's so good. It's so fun to play. It gives you so many interesting decisions to make. It's like, oh, I could get back the Oblivion, and then I could like use the skill to pitch the Oblivion, or I could grab back a normal summon, and I could summon out, and then I have to decide if I want to fuse that off, or if I want to keep the fusion, or if I should summon the body and tribute it off. There's so many decisions to make with it, and I absolutely love cards like that. So much. Right, but you thought Noodle Stool Burn was fun, so your opinions are valid. I mean, any deck that has interesting decision points is fun. That's the way I look at it. The fewer decisions you have to make when playing a deck, the more boring it is. So that's why I really don't like Red Boot. Because Red Boot, you fundamentally do the exact same thing every single game, and you never deviate unless you're forced to. And that's basically like, you didn't open Red Boot, oh god, I have to now play the game, right? So that's why I don't like Red Boot. It's not that it burns, it's not that it OTKs, it's that it does the exact same thing every single game with no going off script. Light Galaxy can go off script and have a lot of interesting fun. E-Hero can go off script and do a lot of interesting things. Spellcasters doesn't necessarily go off script, but because it's very consistent, it's very comfortable to play, right? And I find that very enjoyable personally. Baseball, again, this deck is kind of, there's only one way to usually find that win, so I think this deck is a bit more interesting. It varies depending on your taste. Sevens, Baseball, and Dark Galaxy versions. Shining Beatdown, Wingman Burn, baby, make Flame Wingman, and then die. Well, Hero is a good skill, will be big problem. Yes, if Hero do get a new skill, it could absolutely be dominant. But they could also get a skill sort of like the Dark Galaxy Fusion skill, where the skill is still, like, good, but it's not, like, busted, right? Which is obviously, you know, the skill is effectively discard cards, draw cards, and mill a bit, right? You don't get any plus from it, you don't get to search anything, you don't create anything. You just, like, set up the graveyard a bit and fix your hand a little bit. I think that would be sort of fine as, like, a new kind of Hero skill, which is kind of what they already have, to be fair. I think since Hero is meta in OCG, they were afraid to give a good skill to Hero. I mean, that makes sense, right? It definitely makes sense. I remember laughing when I first saw the card and thinking Spaceship was funny, and then I realized my humor was dry AF. I mean, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. When RB... yeah, RB definitely the cringest deck of the meta. Yeah, that's my opinion, right? That's why, like, my favorite decks, like, going through history, I really liked... I mean, let's go and take a quick peek, right? Let's travel back in time. Diamatarian. The deck is still fun. I still like it. It still has decisions to make. The issue that I had with Gaimatarian was most of the time you could get away with doing the exact same thing every game, and I thought that was boring. But, like, the deck still had lots of interesting decisions it could make, right? If we go further back, Psychic Fusion. I think Psychic Fusion was a really fun deck because, again, it had lots of, like, interesting decisions to make. The deck didn't feel like it was just doing the same thing over and over again. There was lots of interaction, lots of cool decision points, and I really like that style of deck. I mean, going back from that, I didn't really like this version of Dark Galaxy. This version of Dark Galaxy was just like mill a bunch, get bosses back, and then just pierce over stuff. I thought that was kind of eh. If we go back to, like, Transcendence Mirror Gears, this, I think, was a good meta, because I thought this Psychic deck was a little bit sacky, but still a good version of the deck. Not my favorite version, but still fine. I didn't really like the Cyburst deck. I thought the Cyburst deck was a bit one-dimensional, not really much going on there. Machine felt good, but it was too sacky with Essel. Essel, in my opinion, ruined the Machine deck, because it made it, do you go second, do you open Essel, do you mill Innovator? Okay, your chance of winning has just gone up 80%. And if you didn't do that, but your opponent did, you just get fucked, I guess. I really liked Royal Rebels because, again, it was a deck that required a brain to play and to play against, right? Now, a lot of people will just sit there and be like, well, you just set a bunch of cards in defense position until you can kill your opponent. And it's like, yes, but that in itself is a decision to be made, right? Now, it's not like a super in-depth decision to make, but it's still more interesting than like what a lot of other decks were doing at the time. Like, SAR is a deck, again, I really like it, but SAR is exactly the same as Red Boot in that you kind of just do the exact same thing every single game. Now, I still like SAR because I'm a big, like, Spellcaster stan, but gameplay-wise, it was a bit one-dimensional, let's be honest. Let's be honest. And again, I can like a bit of cringe, right? We can all like a bit of cringe. Also, why can't I attack directly with my boosted heavy metal in Royal Rebels, but RB, LG, Hero, and Baseball can OTK me out of nowhere? Well, because it would be overpowered, right? Could you imagine if a, like, 4,900 attack or 5,000 attack heavy metal could attack directly? Oh, that would break the game. We definitely couldn't have that. Definitely couldn't have that. Tomato hates it because it does what Noodles does, but better. I actually think if... Because we had Noodles have a little bit of a resurgence. What was it? Is it Eternal Galaxy Road? It was this deck? Or was it over here still? I know, we had like a little bit of a resurgence with Noodles when we got Experimental Raw. And that was fun. I enjoyed playing that a bit, but it just doesn't compete in the current meta. I'm biased AF, but the best tournament winning deck of all time is Dino SAD. Yeah, I can understand why you'd be biased there. Now, Gaia variants were kind of cringe because half the game's deck felt unplayable. Kind of. I'm trying to think back because I played a lot of games of Gaia. I remember most of the time the deck just kind of worked though. It was like there were occasionally a hard brick game, but it was like 5% of games or something. It wasn't like a lot for me at the very least. Is that Cyclone Valley in the chat? Hello, hello. I'm just not sure with Light Galaxy. Every time I tried it, I just didn't have any success. You could maybe point out which of the DLM recent lists would be the most best/likable for you. Yeah, we can go take a quick peek. If we just find any, this should have one. So this is Yaden's list. Right. So my personal take on this deck, I don't think that Curse is very good in this deck. The reason I don't think Curse is very good is because I think you need to hit a critical mass of monsters. So I think Curse can work. Like, absolutely, this card is fine. You can use it. I wouldn't play this in my list personally because in my mind, playing Curse is absolutely high roller. You're now expecting your opponent to not play around this, and you only get a lot of value out of this card if your opponent... If you draw it going second and your opponent didn't play around it. Other than that, this card has no value. Because you could just play Meteor Charge, right? So, unless you're expecting your opponent to use a trap card immediately, which most of the time they're just not going to, it's whatever, right? So, I wouldn't play this. The rest of this is pretty standard. I would probably play, like, a Cosmo Titan and maybe a... what's he called? Pale Rider. Maybe a Pale Rider. And the reason for that is just to trigger Galactiara Eve's effect more often. And then the way you play the deck is it's pretty simple, right? I mean, is there any of these, like, a better example? So here's another one using Curse, but again, I still don't really like Curse. I think Shooter is also fine. Actually, I don't think I'd play Shooter. Although this card does have the wrong defense on there. It's actually got 1,000 defense. That's the reason people play it. None of these builds, personally, are, like, what I would play. But, like, they're all fine. But the whole gimmick of the deck, right, is you just want to fill up your graveyard. So you want to go like Trileo, you want to use Galactiara Eve, you want to dig through your deck, you want to get Oblivion in your hand. You can get Oblivion into your hand in a multitude of different ways, such as using extra power to get it back. If you are on the one Klein build, you could use Klein to get it back to your hand. Like, no Cyburst Bros. Maybe I just played bad lists. I mean, potentially. Are Maximums doomed to never be the top of the meta because of TSA? I want to say no. Because, like, you still have to open TSA. You still have to have 4 monsters in the graveyard. You still have to have room for TSA in your deck. And maximums have been really relevant in the meta in OCG several times. So, like, I don't think the existence of TSA has made maximums, like, just bad straight up. I think it's more if we didn't have TSA and cards like TSA, maximums would be just, like, the most powerful, right? Now, obviously, right now, we have things like, I don't know, Eternal Galactic Oblivion. But if your opponent had a 4k guy, and to OTK them, now you need to get your Eternal up to 10k to kill them. It still kind of counters it in a way, right? Because how often are you going to get Eternal up to 10k? How many spell traps you play? If you look at some of the future maximums, I doubt that. If the answer is more than 8, that's not a great list. If the answer is more than 10, that is a terrible list. Yeah, that's kind of how I think as well. Yeah, again, I would take these out. I think if you take these out, though, this deck is, like, fine. Like, maybe swap Poly for a Pot of Greed. But it depends what you're after, right? I understand the logic of Poly. And I think the idea behind Poly, primarily, is that you get to play Compulse. Right? I don't think you play Poly because Poly is better than Pog. I think you play Poly because you want to play Compulse. Mainly because Curse and no Pog. Yeah, exactly. I would take this out. Personally, I would take out Poly for Pog. And then I would either just not have a Legend Trap, or I would play... I mean, it's got to be Widespread, right? Because Widespread is good against everything except Light Galaxy. So if you're expecting the Mirror, maybe you play Trap Hole instead. Because it's a weird one, right? I feel like a lot of decks can play around Trap Hole right now. Especially like Red Boot. So like Trap Hole's value's gone down a bit. I think that's the big issue of the Legend Traps in general, is it's not easy to play around absolutely everything. Like, oh, I want to play around Light Galaxy. Okay, well, you want Compulse. Okay, but I don't want my Limit 1 to be Compulse. It's like, okay, so you want Trap Hole. It's okay, but now Trap Hole gets beaten by Red Boot because they can just special summon over it. And it's like, okay, well then if you want to beat Red Boot, you need Widespread. It's like, okay, but now Widespread isn't very good into Light Galaxy because Eternal has protection from trap cards. And it's like, there's no, like, good answer. There's always, like, a yeah, but, yeah, but, yeah, but. Display Evil Ship to 3 will resolve the problem, or change the skill to plus to be once per duel. I mean, potentially. You could also change it so that when you use the skill, you have to shuffle like half of your hand back into your deck. There's a lot of different ways you can fix it. A lot of different ways. They've chosen none of them, so... I would take out Poly for a 3rd Curse. If you're going to attempt to high roll, might as well play into it. The issue is, if you have 3 Curse, and your opponent just plays around Curse, you probably just lose the game, right? You've now just got 3 nothings in your deck. They just aren't doing anything. That's always the issue, is this deck is quite competent at playing around Curse as well. So like, if you're playing the Mirror, and you have Curse in your deck, you're probably just going to lose. But yeah, I don't know, that's my takes on the current meta. For me, I personally don't hate the current meta. I think Light Galaxy is the best deck. And I think it shouldn't be. I think realistically it should have been nerfed. I'm a little bit irritated at that, but that doesn't like turn me off from the game or anything like that, right? Tomato, what are your thoughts on the new Vanguard season so far? The new Vanguard season is great. I think the latest episode was really, really good. Obviously, it's only just started, so we don't really have much to go by, but the fight and the characters and the interactions were all really good in the latest episode, so I'm quite happy with that. I don't hate the meta because there's not just one OTK strategy. Yeah, we get a myriad of OTK strategies. Now, that being said, even though I don't think this meta is, like, atrocious, I personally would like there to be less OTKs in the game. Now, I don't know how we do that. That is the issue. How on earth do we set the game up in a way where everyone isn't just OTKing each other? I think it's almost an issue that is like so foundational to the game that it creates knock-on effects. Ruka should have won. 6,000 to 8,000. The thing is, though, that is a massive change, right? Changing the life points I think is probably something Konami really, really, really doesn't want to do. In a lot of ways, Konami is probably fine with just being in an OTK meta, right? They're like, oh, games are quick, they're snappy, you get in, you get out, you can play it on the train. That's great, that's really good. Red boot viability goes out the window. Buff noodles to save the game. The thing is, no matter what fix we do, someone's unhappy, right? If we leave it as it is, players are like, oh, the game's it's OTKs, it's boring, I don't like it. If we change the life points to 8,000, red boot players and players that like are able to win games but only just, so like maybe baseball players as well, are going to be like, well, I don't like the game anymore because you've basically made it so my deck doesn't work how it did before, and I don't like that. And it's like, if we bring out a load of trap cards, suddenly people are going to be like, oh, it's just stalling. It's just nothing but stalling, right? Because the trap cards you'd have to release, either they'd have to go at it with a scalpel and be like, all right, we're going to buff this deck and we're going to give them this trap. So maybe we'll get like the plant traps, we'll release the plant fusions, and we'll tailor them a skill that makes it just right. So now plants will be like the control deck of the meta. And then you could do the same thing with like machines. Oh, we'll give them the machine traps that allow them to change attacking monsters to defense position. That way we'll have another good defensive option. And maybe if we have a lot of these defensive options, maybe things like the OTK builds like Light Galaxy won't be as powerful because you'll invest all of this, all these cards into making an Eternal, and then it'll get stopped by a trap card, and that won't, that won't be good, so you'll stop playing it or something. And that is what I think I would like. But what I think is more likely is they just throw a bunch of really overpowered traps at us, and then they call it a day. And I think, like, again, if they just gave us, like, New Start, Shiny Shady, like, Sunset, Rebirth, like, just all of the really good trap cards, I don't think that just, like, magically fixes the game. I think a lot of those cards now bring their own issues of now the game's going to be like, did you open your overpowered traps? Yes. Okay, you get to play the game. Did your opponent open their overpowered traps? Yes. Okay, well now it comes down to who opened the most overpowered traps, right? It's like, it's an awkward dilemma that they're faced upon. But again, in a lot of ways, I think Konami's happy with this as it is. I don't think Konami need to change this because this is what they want. They want us to be OTKing each other. Plants will save us from the meta. True. True. Change to 8,000 life points. Kill Red Boot. The thing is, if a deck isn't playable at 8,000 life points, that is a problem with the deck, not with the game. And I don't think we should hold the rest of the game hostage because my deck is gonna be bad, right? That's my personal take. I don't think one deck viability should suddenly mean we can't change the game in a positive way. That being said, I just don't think we're going to get a life points increase. I would love it if we did. I would love to be wrong. I just don't think it's happening. I do not think it's happening. Thing with current state, if you can't do anything against an OTK turn, the lack of interaction is the issue. Yes, 100%. But again, the issue, the way that I would fix it, personally, if we're committing to the fact that Konami isn't going to increase life points, is we have to go in with a scalpel. We have to release very specific traps. We have to release them for very specific decks. We can't just release really good generic traps that makes every deck a trap deck. We need to release very hyper-specific traps for very hyper-specific decks, put the correct limits on them so that only specific decks get access to traps, and then just by the inclusion of having extra, like, control-style decks in the game, the OTK decks will naturally start to fall off because the OTK decks will lose to the control decks. The control decks will lose to the, like, just the kind of, like, aggro-y decks, I guess. Or, like, the kind of more mid-rangey decks. Although it's weird to think of them in those terms of, like, aggro mid-range in Rush because we're drawing up to 5 and emptying our hand every turn, so kind of every deck kind of falls into every category. It's a bit of a weird one. The resurgence of Santa. We're not bringing Santa back. He is dead and buried. Konami, you can play a quick rush duel on the school recess. Looks good to me. Releases Eternal 2. I mean, could do, right? Red Boot exists in OCG Rush. We need 15k life points. Also, I posted my change list for Light Galaxy in Discord. Is it okay like this? Alright, let's go and have a quick peek. Yeah, this is almost identical to what I played in the World Championship qualifier. And I was top 10 for a lot of it. So this is very similar to that. Obviously, we don't have Klein because that card got hit. But other than that, I'd say this looks fine. To be honest, I think they should release some of the archetypical traps and then give a skill that when you have a boss, you get a trap once per duel. I think that would work for some decks. Like, I could see that working with, like, machines. I could see that working with, like, plants. Especially plants, because plants, the fusion boss monsters in plants, need the traps in graveyard to, like, gain full value. So, having a skill for plants specifically that let them set a trap card from their deck is actually really cool, and I do like the idea of that. For example, Compulsory is a good trap. Playing Compulsory plus Rice in this meta would be enough, I think. Yeah, but again, the issue is Compulsory has so many, like, issues, right? Compulsory is one of the only traps that's good into, like, Galaxy, which makes it so important, but because it's at limit 1, so, like, Galaxy can't play it. Like Galaxy can still play it, but then they just have to give up Pot of Greed, so it hasn't actually taken it away from Like Galaxy, and letting the best deck play the best counter to the best deck seems like antithetical, as well as Compulsory can still be used aggressively, so like, although you want it as a defensive tool, you can also use it as an offensive tool, which on one hand is really cool because that's interesting decision point. On the other hand, it means that it's a bit win more, which we don't want win more, we want comeback, right? So it's really weird. It's really weird. There are restricts. Hello, Parker. Yeah, we do have some Woolly Wonderland cards. There you go. We have Woolly Wonderland Wave Shaft, and we have 3 vanillas. This is the only card that like matters, but it still doesn't matter realistically. Trallio, my goat. Meet cards. No monster. What effect? Always send Oblivion to grave when I have Secret Order. So nothing. Yo, we are so back. Ready for Meeg Chan tier 0. Compulse is also really good offensively. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And maybe if we get a busted skill and the anime only maximum, then I am the first to play the deck. Imagine if we did get the anime only maximum. We need it in OCG. That's what we need it. But it's not a competitive deck. And in OCG, the deck has Light Wave to help Bluetooth. Yes and no. I don't think Light Wave is as important now as it was. It was really important when like Bluetooth kind of came out, but I don't think Light Wave matters as much in the current OCG game. Give us Light Wave. Light Wave now would be really good. I think the reason they don't want to give us Light Wave is because there was a deck just called Level 7 Good Stuff, and it was just like Dragius, Bluetooth, Lightwave Dragon, a bunch of good cards, and you just basically popped your opponent's board out the way, attacked over whatever was left with Dragius, and just beat your opponent up. And it just became like the new like good stuff pile. And I think they're really scared of that, even though they've already limited both those cards to 3. They're like, oh, just having this as a combo piece you could put in a deck, we don't want that. And then the only way to like stop that would be to also make Lightwave Dragon limit 3, and then that defeats the point of releasing it, because you want it to play it specifically with Bluetooth. So it's like, I don't know, puts it in a weird spot. What about the rest of the decks that's not competitive in Rush Duel Links? Like 20 of them, because we only got 6,000 life points. I don't think the life points are gonna matter as much. The way that Konami decide if a deck is going to be playable or not is on almost entirely on the skill. Now, it's the cards they release as well, but if Konami wanted, they could have released Dynamix. They could have given that skill. Back when Super King Rex came out, they could have given them a dinosaur skill. When they released the insect cards to the card trader, they could have given us an insect skill then. They chose not to. They could have given us a Meeg skill at any point. They've chosen not to, right? There are so many like bad decks that are like a skill away from being really, really powerful, and they just haven't given it to us. Now, I don't think changing the life points to 8,000 changes that. I think fundamentally, Konami just get to decide if they want a deck to be good or not, and they've decided they don't want a lot of these decks to be good, right? Hear me out, Tomato. You make it limit 3, so you can play it, so you can't play it with Bluetooth. I mean, basically, right? But in Duel Links, I think it's going to kill Red Boot, They changed to 8,000. That's fine, though. Who gives a shit about Red Boot? Deck sucks. If we're that worried about it, just change the way the deck plays. Give them their trap cards. Give them some extra support. Change their skill. Like, it doesn't matter. The point is, OTKing is not a great foundation for the game. Like, in OCG, we don't have that many OTK decks. Like, even back in the day, we had... Like, Light Galaxy has always been an OTK deck. But it was an OTK deck that would kill you on, like, turn, like... But somewhere between 7 and 11. Like, it wasn't like a turn 2 OTK. This was like a late game OTK deck. We had, like, Guildford OTK. That was obviously a really powerful deck. I'm trying to think what other, like, big OTK decks we had. We didn't have a lot of OTK decks in OCG. Tomato hates Burn when he isn't aura farming noodles. I think Burn is fine. I think any deck that can burn you to death in one turn is cringe. I think if Noodles could sit there and spin plates and deal 6,000 burn damage to you in one turn, that would not be okay. Right? That's not okay. Right? Burning someone for 6k in a single turn is not fine. And that includes burning them for 3,100 and then attacking over them for the game. That's still just as bad. Because it's not about the fact that it's burn damage, it's how quickly the game ended. That's the problem. 6 Red Boot fans are also going to be really upset. Exactly. Light Galaxy is also a really cool card. Press your turbo. Personally, I don't want Red Boot milling all of my shit. That is something you're not really going to be able to deal with. They're just going to do that. Even if they got nerfed, even if some stuff got changed, Red Boot will still always mill your shit. That's just how the deck works. Hear me out, Konami. Bring our Queen and Savior Harpy. No. Harpies is... I wouldn't be surprised if Harpy's Maximum came out, like we got the other pieces, with the release of, like, Phaser. Like, in, like, a Phaser box, they would just go hard with, like, a bunch of Maximum stuff and drop all the rest of the Harpy pieces then. That wouldn't be surprising. Return of the Maximums. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm kind of expecting, right? Is in, what, September? We'll get a bunch of Maximum stuff. That's kind of what I'm hoping for, but... We'll see. We'll see. But it's hard to know. It is hard to know. Because again, it's all speculation. All we can do is guesstimate, right? Like, I still did not expect this box to come out and give us Light Galaxy Fusion, Dark Galaxy Fusion. Because I was like, that's too quick. We haven't got, like, Rovian yet. We haven't got... I mean, realistically, we were never getting, like, George Jersey as a playable character. They were never going to specifically go out of their way to make the Soul Jersey deck like a big meta thing. They were always going to skip over that in the same way they skipped over like chairs, the same way they skipped over outer space, right? But I was expecting Wind Psychic to come out, at least in some form, early. So when they skipped over and gave us Light Galaxy Fusion and Dark Galaxy Fusion, I was like, okay, we just skipped Wind Psychic. I guess we're just doing this now. Celeb Sesso next page. So my prediction is, my current prediction, the next box will be very Maximum focused, as in like the September box, right? We'll get a box with Phaser, ideally as a release character. They'll start dropping the Maximums. Then at some point they're gonna have to give us the Phoenix, like probably quite quickly after that, ideally like Blaze Fiends and stuff. And then the box after the Maximum box, they could release Fusions, or they could take a page from what they did with Go Rush release and release 2 boxes and basically have one of them be the Maximum box and one of them be like the Fusion box. In the same way we had like a Sevens box and a Go Rush box, which one was like very Fusion focused, the other one was just like very Sevens focused. They could, instead of that, or no, Sevens? Yeah, it was Go Rush and Fusion. Yeah, that's what it was. So they could instead give us a Maximum box and then an other box. Like, calling it just a Fusion box seems a bit weird. But, like, getting stuff like Celeb Rose in there, I think would be really cool. Return of the Maximums. Red Boot players are the chain burn degens from way back. Changed my mind. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. The Lug, Asaka. Asaka is a weird one. I don't really know when we release Asaka. She has to come out some point. It's a strange one, because our deck's also a bit weird. Sebastian is the GOAT. Still missing 25 plus Harpy cards, Tomato. I don't think we will get all of them. Yeah, we're not talking about all of them. No one mentioned all of them. When we're talking about the missing maximum pieces. That's all we're talking about. Bro was a loyal motherfucker. Oh, yeah. Sebastian and Swirly for the win. They could throw us for a loop and bring rituals or contact fusions early. I think that is the quickest way to kill the game. Suddenly, if they brought out rituals, we have nothing to look forward to. And rituals are actually broken. Like, they are actually broken. Okibis for the W? I mean, yeah. Neos wants to contact fuse. No. Dark Matter Fusion before Go Rush Maximums. That would be so... Yeah, again, it messes everything up. It messes everything up in a really bad way, I think. Like, again, they could do it, but I don't think they're going to. We also should have ads soon. So when we do hit ads, I'll just, like... We'll just pause. But the ads shouldn't have started yet. But when they do, we'll just pause till they go away. Where's the Turbo Rush Tools? That was one episode, though, so I don't think we need that. Like, maybe it's like an event. That would be fine. But, like, outside of that... Chaos Ritual versus Plasmatic Model. Real. Imagine if that was it, though, because then that would something like Power Creep absolutely everything, right? And there would just be nothing remotely close. It would be like a really weird way to have it set up. I don't know. Ritual's coming in the next year in September or October. Yeah, that's what I would expect. I think Contact Fusion would sort of make sense to be like early next year, like February, March. That's what would make sense to me. But we'll see. We'll see. I think September will be Celebros. I think September's a little bit early, but like I don't think it's not too far out. Like I would say maybe October Celebros. But like there's not a big difference between September and October, right? Realistically. Like October, November would sort of be my prediction. Also an ad, so we're gonna hydrate. Alright, so who has ads, bros? Does anyone have ads right now? I'm going to assume some people have ads. I guess the question should be, who doesn't have ads? While we wait for everyone else to come back. While we put the conversation on hold so no one misses out. Because Twitch decided they need money. Tote, you finished ads. Perfect. Did you get any good ads? Fake ads. Real fake ads. Ad finished. Hello, Vayrain. Welcome on in. Good old ads. Well, they're still going on for 15 seconds for some people, so I'll just wait until it goes away. The funny thing is how they're going to work with Ritual, because in Go Rush, there are only 2 characters who use it. Otis and probably Won't Get Early. I think they'll just give a bunch of them, right? Like, they could just release Plasmatic Models. That doesn't have a character, right? Same with Chaos. That doesn't have a character. Dokkan ads. What is Dokkan? Oh, the Dragon Ball game. Taco Bell. Now that's a good ad. I've always been a big fan of Taco Bell. Not because I actually like Taco Bell a ton, but because like I love Mexican food. Like a chimichanga, a burrito, a quesadilla, like anything like that, I think is delicious. Like it's actually incredible food. Now it's horrible for you, but it is so tasty. It's actually so tasty. I don't think Taco Bell does like the best version of Mexican food, but it's like easy to get, right? So Go Rush Maximum September, Contact Fusion early next year, Ritual next September. Well, I think it would make sense, but character release-wise, that would be like impossible. Well, the thing is, they don't have to release characters in order, as we've already kind of seen with like, we don't have Rovian, when we should theoretically have Rovian by now. So it's hard to know exactly what they're going to do in general, right? So I think that makes sense in terms of like getting a load of stuff out, and then you just sprinkle little bits and bobs in between that. Now again, they could push it back, right? It could be Contact Fusion at the end of, announced at Worlds next year. But the issue is Contact Fusion is like, it's cool, but it's not really hype. There's not a lot of hype behind Contact Fusion, right? That's my biggest issue with it. It's not like a, whoa, you can do fusion again, but now without a spell card. Like, I just don't think that is... It doesn't have the same hype as Ritual did. Funny thing is, I don't even have Taco Bell in my country. Well, you're not missing much. It's like subpar Mexican food, realistically. Whoa, Kuwaido. Udiosto Kuwaido boss. Tomato, I mean, hear me out. It definitely isn't the most unhealthy thing by far. Oh yeah, it's not the worst by any stretch. But like a chimichanga is just a deep fried burrito covered in cheese. And I'm telling you, that is not good for you. I'm telling you it's not. Also, Zuijo came out before Manabu. Exactly. So they can release them whatever order they want. I think that they'll try and stay, like, close to the release. But I think what they're going to do is they'll pick key characters that they want to release, ideally, in order-ish. And then a load of other characters, they'll just release in their own time. So, for example, I could see Rovian getting released later because they want Rovian to come out with her later Wind Psychic support. Right? That's kind of how I see it. I'll probably arrive at the end of the year like maximums in equipment. I mean, potentially. Again, all we can do is speculate. That's all we can do. Which is it's fun to speculate. But, like, it's not always easy to know exactly where we're going with it. Because the other thing to remember is, we're in, like, a very OTK heavy meta. So releasing, like, the new maximum stuff, does that help things? Right, let's just take a quick look, right? Let's go and take a look at the Abyss stuff. Okay, so let's take a look at these guys. So first things first, look at this guy. This is kind of like the ace boss, but this was actually the weak card overall. We'll go ahead and put this back as well so we can see this a look better. So this is Abyssal Dragon Lord Abyss Besieger. So this, assuming my prediction is correct, this card will be coming out in like September, October. This will be announced at Worlds, right? This card is pretty good. So it's a level 10, 2500 attack. So notably, in the game currently, the only maximum monster we have with an attack stat of 2500 that's a 2 tribute monster is the middle piece of Worm Excavator. And that was its like gimmick for a while. Its good thing was that it was just a 2500 guy, right? I swear this card better have an Overrush rare. I swear to God. You want it so bad, do you? Sorry, so you can maximum summon this card together, blah, 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 blah. 4000 attack, good. If you have no monsters in your graveyard, your opponent cannot activate trap cards when this card declares an attack. Alright, so immediately, we are saying you are not allowed to use trap cards. So none of your stall tactics are going to work against this card. Your legend trap isn't going to work, it's whatever, right? Also, if this card is in maximum mode, it cannot be destroyed by trap card effects. Or by your opponent's card effects, period. Very, very powerful. Very, very powerful initial defensive abilities. Then we have the L piece. If you have 5 or more Sea Serpent monsters in your graveyard, place all monsters from your graveyard at the bottom of your deck. Destroy 1 monster on your opponent's field. Then, if this card is maximum mode and you shuffle 3 or more maximum monsters into the deck to meet the requirement, you can destroy all cards on your opponent's field. So this card gets to wipe your opponent's board, can't be destroyed by card effects, and even if your opponent had a trap card, they wouldn't be able to use it when it declares an attack. So now, the only thing holding this thing back is it only has 4000 attack. And this will be the only thing you can attack with. Outside of that, this card is like busted, right? And then we have the right piece. If you have no monsters in your graveyard, your opponent cannot set monsters from the hand. So you're gonna dome them for 4k after wiping out all of their cards. And then you tell them, you can't play monsters in defense position. Not to mention, even if they did have cards in defense position, as long as we can fill up our graveyard again somehow, maybe with a skill, because that seems to be what we do whenever a card has a weakness or something that needs to happen, we just put a skill in the game that fixes it. And this card is a maximum mode. Your opponent has a face-down spell trap on the field. Your opponent cannot set spells and trap cards from the hand. So, like, as an OTK tool, this is really good. But it only has 4000 attack, so you're not going to kill them in one turn. As a control tool, your opponent cannot set spell traps. And your opponent cannot set monsters. So because of the way this is worded, your opponent can set 1 spell trap. and then can't set anymore. Which is insane. Collie, what are these? These are the maximum monsters from a character called Phaser, which we are predicting will be announced and released in September. So we don't know we're getting these cards for shoresies, but I would expect us to get these cards like soonish. And we're just kind of looking over them to talk about like what kind of impact they could have on the meta. Does the Kraken have one? Yes, it does. If so, trap card, smile. If so, Duel Links can have my money. The Darkhold device and DP counter. Damn, that card looks sick. It's so cool. It's so cool. Santa Mill shambles. Watch them give him all the support. What does the left piece do? So can you look at the left piece again if you want? This one, the one that just like gets rid of all of their cards. Hello, Murata. I see why Phaser was a villain and needed to be stopped. I mean, yeah, you got to remember that Phaser came out not long after fusions, right? So like we'd done the whole fusion thing. We'd done some fusion shenanigans, and then Phaser introduced maximums, and maximums were like these like super oppressive, overwhelming forces in the anime. Vocalized Phoenix. We'll have a look at Phoenix in a second as well, yeah. Phoenix is also cool. He was just playing cats. But the other cards I wanted to look at was his other boss monster, and that is this is what was better in the OCG. This card was better than Poseidon. It saw more play. So again, 4,000 attack. If you have no monsters in your graveyard, this card cannot be destroyed by card effects. Specifically your opponents, you can't like Darkhold or something. Also, if this card is in maximum mode, by the way, you don't need it to be in maximum mode to get this first part of the effect. So it's a 2,500 attack guy, which is, a 2,500 attack vanilla, but that can't be destroyed by card effects, is still really good. If this card is in maximum mode, your opponent cannot activate trap cards when it declares an attack, so there's nothing too shocking about that. It's still just a good card. Then we have the L piece. Shuffle up to 5 monsters from your graveyard into the deck. Now, notably, we want to get rid of our cards in the graveyard to turn this effect on, so that helps. One face-up monster on your opponent's field loses attack and defense equal to the number of monsters shuffled into the deck to meet this effect times 300. That's 1,500 attack you get to reduce your opponent's monster's attack. Then if this card is in maximum mode and you have no monsters in your graveyard, you can destroy a spell trap. So you get to pop a back row, weaken something by 15. And then the R piece, send one card from your hand to the graveyard, change the battle position of one monster on your opponent's field. Then if this card is in maximum mode, this card inflicts piercing damage. So we have two different ways to get through set 3 pass. We have a way to pop your opponent's back row out the way. And we have like built-in protection. So this card is like, it saw more play because it's just a little bit easier to use. And it's not quite like so high roll. Doesn't Udius also get a max? He does, but his maximum is a bit weird. It's kind of like, it's a bit like Udius's maximum. Not Udius. Yuga's maximum. In that it's not, it's a bit like Skystream. In that it's not necessarily like a win con on its own. It's more like a climbing tool which you use other boss monsters. Release the Kraken. Udius maximum is a sucks. I mean, again, it could come out early and have a good skill and be fine. But like, yeah. In OCG, it wasn't very good. And I suppose we will now go and take a quick look at Phoenix as well, because we were talking about it, so we'll take a quick gander. So if you, and we also need its equip spell. What is its equip spell called? I really cannot remember what the equip spell is called. This one. Chemicalized Structure Force. Okay. Alright, so we'll take a look at Blaze Bolt, Chemist Storm, Feng Huang, Vocalized Phoenix. Thank you, Legacy Yu-Gi-Oh! For the follow. Do appreciate it. And the third C7. Right, we'll take a look at Oki Abyss after this, okay? We weren't talking about Oki Abyss because it wasn't super relevant. Oki Abyss is a weird one and requires us talking about a lot of trap cards, which is why we didn't really want to mention it, but we'll take a look at Oki Abyss after this. Pyro Bros. Phoenix is so beautiful. I want maximum deck to be meta so badly. It's the rush thing and it needs to be pushed more. I think that's fair. The only problem is maximums are sort of like, they're very polarizing in that, especially when they came out originally, and that was kind of true for Rush as well, or Duel Links as well. They were very much like, we're playing on our own axis, and we're going to be very difficult for you to interact with. It basically came down to, if you don't have TSA, you just kind of lose. And that I don't think is like great design, but it is what it is, right? Maybe we get both brothers. I mean, potentially. We could get like a dual unlock. That has some potential. Isn't it shield something? Agreed. I always love Maximum because it was new. Main box to release all of these. I mean, again, they could just do two. They could do exactly what they did when they released Go Rush World and give us 2 mini boxes. That wouldn't be too surprising. And again, they don't have to give us all of this all at once, right? Say that fighters first. Fire and Water meta for Worlds. Release Abyss Kite at the same time. I don't know about that. But this card. So Maximum Summon has 3,500 attack. Okay, 35. That's not 4,000. That's a bit weaker. Effect. Right, so again, this is format very weird. Requirement. While in Maximum mode, send 1 Fire Attribute or Pyro type monster from your hand to the graveyard. Inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent. Oh god, guys. Noodle alert. It's 1,000 burn damage. Noodle alert. Then, this turn, this card cannot be destroyed by trap card effects. And if it attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing damage. Okay, so 3,500, can't be popped by traps, burns your opponent for 1,000, gets piercing. Okay, pretty good, pretty good. Next up, the L piece. Shuffle 1 Fire Attribute, Thunder type monster from your graveyard into the deck. So this is another thing to take note of. This is when Manabu's deck gets a bit weird, and now he plays Fire Aqua, Fire Pyro, and Fire Thunder. So this is a Fire Thunder monster, whereas the middle piece is a Fire Pyro monster. Destroy 1 face-up level 9 or lower monster in your opponent's field. So there's a couple of fusions this won't pop. For the most part, this can pop everything else except maximums. Then if this card is in Maximum mode, you can destroy 1 monster in your opponent's field. So we pop a monster on your opponent's field, then we pop another monster, and the other monster could be anything. It could be face up, it could be face down, it could be anything, right? So we just need to get the pop 2 cards. Pretty good. The other one, shuffle 1 Fire Attribute Aqua monster from your graveyard into the deck. Destroy a spell trap. If this card is in Maximum mode, destroy another spell trap. So this card gets to every turn, pop 2 monsters, pop 2 spell traps, get protection from trap card destruction, burn your opponent for 1,000, and get piercing. Okay, that's fine. But it also gets this equip spell as well. This is kind of like how we finish it off. This is the 4th piece of the Maximum. Equip this to a face-up Aqua, Pyro, or Thunder type monster in your field. The equipped monster gains attack equal to the number of different types on the field, times 300. So usually this is going to sit at around, you know, like 4,100-ish. Then if the equipped monster is a Maximum monster, it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So we get that little bit of extra attack, and then we get protection from just being destroyed by anything, which is quite nice. Maximums in the same anime were also really cool. 2 mini box is a sucks. I mean, it's what we got last time, right? And then there's Maximums, the Joint Tech Maximum, and Power Bond. Is better than a main. Cooking, Noodles, even more in shambles. Hey friend, I was wondering if I could cog this month with only 2 copies of Seven's Road Phantom Structure deck, along with the SAR skill. I don't think Seven's or the master skill, yes, you can definitely cog with that. You can 100% cog with that. It might be a bit of a struggle, and you'll probably be playing a lot of mirror matches, but you can definitely cog with that. It just, again, it's not going to be like free. You'll probably be going at it for a while, but you could definitely cog with that. We are forgetting about the best Maximum Dynamics alt pieces. That is so new though. It's so new. And if those came out right now, it would probably be a bit too good. Nah, it doesn't OTK. Maybe it'll be fine. If they give us the chicken, they should give us the new Dynamax pieces too. The thing is, I think the Dynamax pieces are better than chicken. But I guess it comes down to the whole deck. Because the other thing is you need the other guy as well. I forget what his name is. The other level 10 that isn't a Maximum. Is he in here? This guy. Yeah, you need Dynamajesty. If they gave us Dynamajesty... Oh, this deck plays so well. But again, it's one of those things where it's a Maximum that kind of just blasts everything out of the way and just gets damage in. But again, does it matter so much when we're in an OTK meta and Maximums don't really OTK outside of, like, the big one, you know, the Overlord, right? I appreciate the response, but how's the new box looking? Worth investing. So we haven't seen a new box of, like, if we're talking about the box that we got. God, when was it released? When was this released? How long's it been out now? 18. 3 weeks ago. If you talk about the box that released 3 weeks ago, it's okay. It's not bad. It's not a bad box. Hero is definitely good. Baseball is playable. The red boot stuff is, like, it's decent. It's all good. Spellcasters, though, is still fine. Spellcasters are still a fine deck. Like, it's still up there. Like, at the moment, statistically, it's the 4th best deck. So, like, it's still fine. And for ladder play, it's more than enough. We need the Mana Boom maximum fusions. Oh, again, we're getting into, like, a weird territory there. I'm hoping we won't get the max and get archetypical fusion spells. We don't get max. Wait, so you don't want the maximums. Instead, you just want, like 7's Wonder Fusion. Oh my god, hi Tomato. I thought I missed the stream. Hello, Victor. Welcome, welcome. Victor has appeared. Yeah, I love this card. I love dinosaurs. I think the dinosaur maximum deck is really cool. I would love to play this card. Like, I've top 4'd a couple of tournaments with this deck because it's just I just think it's really cool. Hi, I'm sorry. I thought the leaks for the new box were out. No, we don't have. We only have 4 cards leaked at the moment, and they're not for a box. Have you gotten a haircut? Nope. This is the same hair we've had for a while. I think, when did we last get a haircut? It would have been like about a month ago, probably. Maybe the fish one. Make more decks viable. The problem is, I feel like if we release the archetypical fusion spells, it doubles down on just giving us more ways to OTK. Like, I feel like maximums feel like a good thing to introduce because almost by design, almost all the maximums don't OTK. Because it's like, I'm gonna, like, my maximum is gonna, like, blow up your board. I'm gonna get at you for 4k. But 4k isn't gonna kill you in one hit. So you're guaranteed to live another turn. Whereas the archetypical fusion spells are typically used in really degenerate ways to just try and OTK your opponent. So, I don't know. Imagine a glitch happens for 7's Wonder happens that happened with Miracle. How could you imagine? Well, that's the other thing, because they could just, again, if they gave us like 7's Wonder Fusion at 1 copy, it gets weird as well. Because, like, Hero eventually is going to want more copies of Miracle Fusion, right? Like, when you get to the stage where you're playing it how it's played in OCG, the deck is a Miracle Fusion deck. You want to draw Miracle Fusion, you want to be fusing almost exclusively with Miracle Fusion. So, like, it puts it in, like, a weird spot. I miss PNG Mato. He'll be back, don't you worry. I swear Swedish autocorrect hates me. 7's Wonder Fusion into 7's Gears response. God, 7's Gears is so toxic, man. It's actually so toxic. Hello, Icy. Welcome on in. How are you doing, my friend? I hope you're having a great time. We saw Icy actually posting the leaks yesterday as well. They could do that. What they did to Cyber Assault. They could. They absolutely could. They absolutely could. I mean, again, if I go back and take a look at... Because I had... No, that's the wrong button. Oh, Christ, that's the wrong button as well. We'll get there eventually. I'm just hoping I don't break the internet doing this. So, there was a video I made. Let me see if I can find it quick. See if I can find it. Here we go, yeah. This was it. So this was a video I made a long time ago.
If neither player wants to commit the level 7 high...
So loud! I apologise for that. This is a video I made... Well, when did this come out? July 31st, so almost 2 years ago. This was almost 2 years ago. And this was basically a video where I was going over the meta and about how, like, it wasn't in, like, a great spot. And this was, again, with the release of our favourite chicken. Tomato jump scare. I gotta go see it, Tomato. See ya. You see the new Dino Assault deck on DLM looks fun. The new Dino Assault deck. Wait, we have to pause for a second, guys. I need to see what this Dino Assault deck is. I need to see this. What, where is it? Where could I find it? Because what's it going to be under? Is it under Assault mode or under Dinos? This one. So this is just dinosaurs, but they just slapped Assault Stardust Dragon Assault mode in it. I mean, it's cool. Like, it's a cool idea. It's kind of just like Dino Fleur, but we take out the Fleur stuff and we put in the Assault mode stuff. I mean, I don't hate it. I've seen the Assault Dinosaur. It's so weird. If this exists, I might need to build it. I mean, I could. Like, I'd need to go and get the Assault stuff, but, like, I'm close to building this and giving it a go if I wanted to. I don't know if I want to. How did this do? This placed... Did this do a tournament or something? No. It didn't, like, place anywhere, apparently. Unfortunately. But it is what it is. But anyway, going back to this, the whole point of this video was because we were in a meta where Seven's Wonder Fusion Turbo, I did like this deck. I played a lot of Seven's Wonder Fusion Turbo, but this deck was so strong. Like, it was actually just, like, the most powerful deck in the game, almost with, like, no comparison. And, like, people were, like, teching specific cards. Look, guys, you remember this guy? It's Eternal Galactica Oblivion. You remember him? Join Tech Card PogChamp. Oh, yeah. But this was basically talking about, like, all the different things that were in the meta, and, like, you can still use Seven's Chariot, the Seven's Paladin as well. Background changed. Oh, yeah. There we go. This was data taken from Voltalon's Rush Duel Data TB01 spreadsheet. And the funny thing is, even though Wonder Fusion was the most degenerate deck of the format, it wasn't even the best deck. It wasn't even the best deck. No RR makes Eternal infinitely worse. I mean, kind of, right? Tomato reacting to himself? Nah, that's fine. It's fine. It's important because we don't have many, like, sources to go back and look at Rush OCG history. So, like, my videos is, like, the best place to, like, go for it, right? Sea Serpent mid? Yeah, Sea Serpent mid-range. Sea Serpent mid-range was, that was Volt's specialty as well. It was Harpies all along. But hello, Globe. Welcome in. Back then, Harpy was already best and never left that spot till a week ago. Well, so this is when Harpy had its first wave. It eventually fell off and then got another wave of support and went straight back up to tier 1 again. And then fell off again and then got another wave of support, went straight back up to tier 1 again. Like, it's absolutely nuts how much, like, Harpy just pops off whenever it gets any kind of support. You give him an inch, he'll take a mile. He'll take a mile. Tekken love water theme. What do you mean you just like anything that's sort of water related? Is there even an ORR that looks worse than the original? Probably not. I'm trying to think now. I think in general all the ORRs look really nice. Harpies never die. Exactly. They literally just got hit on the ban list in OCG, and they had, like, I think it was like 7 limits thrown at them. It was like, just take this and this and this and this. Aquatic themed, not necessarily just water. Yeah, I really like the fish cards. Like, fish has always been one of my favorite rush decks. That's not the right thing to type. We should type it in here. If this will load, we can go take a look. Like, this is great, this is great, this is great. I'm not going to go through all of them, but like, the fish archetype in Rush is so cool, man. Surging Wave Swordsman, Onimaru Kunituna. This card is sick, right? This is a samurai fish, which first off is amazing. On top of that, continuous effect, face-up fish monsters on your field cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. That is such a good effect, right? This card might not look like much, but it gets a fusion, which is actually crazy. 7 limits, 5 of those to 1, and they are still in top 5 deck, yeah. But then we have its fusion, Pitch Dark, Surging Wave Swordsman, Onimaru Kunituna. So continuous effect, if this card attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. Face-up fish monsters on your field cannot be destroyed by card effects. So again, still has that protection, and he now gets piercing, and he's on a 3k body. It's just so good, so good. Why does Mirror Innovator not have an Overrush rare or its OG art? I mean, I couldn't tell you. It has a really good ult art though. Like, the ult art is still really good. Still looks really nice. This best character boss monster, Marguto, so gets it. Marguto is so good. Like, there is no, like, explanation given as to what or who Marguto is, really. He just is. And he's one of the best characters. And his deck is incredible as well. Margot. Now, I was assured we were getting ads soon. So I was trying to, like, not really show anything else till ads showed up. But they haven't shown up. So we're just going to keep going for now. So another fusion monster. Dark Hydro Cannon Neutron Bluefin. Made using Bluefin and Surge. There we go, there's the ads. Right, we'll wait until that goes away. Otis is Marguto. I mean, everyone's Otis and everyone is Marguto. Alright, we'll wait until the ads go away before we continue the yap. As we do. As we do. Mirageus, is that you? So this card is... Obviously, it's nowhere near what Mirageus is, right? It can attack directly, which is nice. It has, like, a very weird, specific, like, anti-maximum effect. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Bro really became a fish when the dragon deck fell off. Darkness card / fusions when? Well, we'll get them when we get Quaidel, right? Because that's the whole Quaidel thing. I think it would be really cool if they did like an in-game Duel Links event that was all around the darkness cards, and like darkness cards would just start like you'd get like a special ability, like an activated like extra skill that would like throw the darkness cards onto the field and stuff. I think that'd be really cool. Darkness Galactica Oblivion when? No, we don't care about that one. Right, the ad should be ending very shortly. But yeah, this is still a really cool card. And the thing that really made this deck actually stand out as being really good is they got a Miracle Fusion, right? So you got a spell card that fuses these monsters from the graveyard, which is really, really good. Should never be underestimated. But yeah, I think that's kind of it for that. Oh, we were going to talk about Okiabyss, weren't we? We were going to talk about Okiabyss. And then when we've talked about Okiabyss, we'll probably go on to doing Shadowverse stuff. That's probably going to be the plan here. Darkness is lame compared to Prime. I think... I don't say this often, but I think that is one of your worst takes, Bankai. I think the Darkness cards are awesome, and I think the Prime cards are super, super lame. That is my... I guess it's now a hot take, since it's like going against what someone else has said. But here we have Shine Steel, Ultra Dragon, Devastar, Okiabyss. So this card is this card was very popular and was seeing a ton of play, but didn't end up like performing super well. So this card only has 3500 attack. Maximum mode, if you have 10 or more Sea Serpentine monsters in your graveyard, send one card from your hand to the graveyard. This card gains attack equal to the attack of one face-up monster on your opponent's field until the end of the turn. So if you were in a maximum mirror, you could grab all of their attack points. which is pretty good, right? You're going to get effectively like a direct attack over them is the way to like think about it. Then we had Devastar Okibis L. You can add Abyskite Protection or Prevent Wall from your graveyard to your hand. Then, if this card is in maximum mode, you can add Abyskite Alt Mail from your graveyard to your hand. So this is why I didn't want to talk about this, because there's a bunch of different cards we have to now talk about. So which ones do we need? We need Prevent Wall, Protection, and Alt Mail. Alright. So, we can pay 500 life points to add Prevent Wall or Protection. So Prevent Wall, when an opponent's monster declares an attack targeting your face-up Sea Serpent monster, the attack target cannot be destroyed by that battle. Then the attack target is in maximum mode, you gain 1,000 life points. What is the worst take then, lol? My hot take, Darkness are cool, but not at all good. Prime suck, as there's either Fusion Monster OTK or Splash Prime Rex into other decks for some background removal. I mean, there is a couple. Like, any field spell deck has had like some good use of some of the cards. The thing for me is, though, some of the Darkness cards are quite good. It's just they're a little bit few and far between. Like, I do think the Darkness Blastomer is a really good card. It's just the deck it's in has never been like a top tier deck. That's the issue it's got. Then we have Protection. When your opponent normal or special summons a level 5 or higher monster face up, one face up Sea Serpent type monster on your field gains 1,000 attack to the end of this turn. Then if that monster is a maximum monster, it cannot be destroyed by card effects. So if you get Protection and Prevent Wall, you can't be destroyed by battle, and you can't be destroyed by card effects, and you gain 1,000 attack. And you gain 1,000 life, which is already pretty good. So this is basically like, this is why people like this deck, because it was like, it was sort of a towers. You'd like make a guy, and then you'd protect it from everything, and then your opponent wouldn't be able to like break through it. And that's kind of the strategy behind this deck. My hot take, Metagears is the coolest Rush Dragon in terms of art, and has by far the coolest fusion. Hello, Hunter. I actually think I prefer, in terms of specifically fusions, I think Zero Gygeus is my favorite. I think this is like, the art is a little bit of a mess, but I still think it looks so cool. I also really like the effect. It's like, this is probably my favorite one, personally. Zero Gygeus. What the fuck? This exists. So this is made using Null Strike and Clad Soul. But it send the top card of your deck to the graveyard, change the original attack of up to 3 monsters on your opponent's field to 0 until the end of this turn. This turn, this card can make up to 2 attacks on monsters. So this card will just OTK in this meta, because it's 6,600 damage effectively. Or destroy a spell trap on the opponent's field, then express summon a monster from your graveyard. Now this card is awesome. I love this card. It would be absolutely busted in a 6-scale lifebook format. But it's so cool. I didn't even know it existed. I can't tell what's going on in the art. Yeah, the art is a little bit of a mess, but it still looks really cool. There you go. So here's his face. This is like his body. This is like a wing going over there. This is like his chest guard, I think. This is like red armor that goes over him. This is his arm. And this is his hand. So he's like humanoid-ish. Well, I guess like Dragius is kind of like that as well. I don't really know what's going on with these bits. But it's Clad Soul, and I think Clad Soul is basically armor. I swear, manga cards. Well, Zero Gears probably will be different deck than Mirror Gears and Dragius. The problem is too high level 2. Yes, it's still really cool though. Like, it's just my favorite one. That's a face only a mother could love. But I love him. He's beautiful. But then we have the last trap. So we get to grab back one of these trap cards. But then if this card is in max mode, you can add Oak Mile from your graveyard to your hand. So you activate this effect, you immediately get 2 traps. And this is one of them. So when this card, or when a card is sent to your opponent's graveyard, send one other spell trap from your field to the graveyard. One face-up Sea Serpent monster on your field gains 1,000 attack to the end of the turn. And you gain 1,000 life points. Then if that monster is a max monster, it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. So he basically gets 3 different traps that give it protection. And just basically make it into like this really annoying towers monster. The manga cards are always so cool. I've always said that as well. Like Light and Darkness Dragon as well from GX. It looks so cool. He has a crown basically. Holy, he might have the most aura. I take back everything. Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. And then the last piece, the R piece, send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard. Gain 500 attacks, goes to 4,000. Then if this card is in maximum mode, you can destroy 1 face-up level 8 or lower monster. So this effect doesn't matter too much. This is kind of the other one. But like this one being able to recycle back these traps is so good. Like it's actually so good. And the other thing to take note of is all of these maximums that we talked about today, all of their pieces are just playable. Like some people just played like Shine Steel, Devastator, Okiabyss, and some people played the right piece just as standalone boss monsters without even playing the rest of the maximum. Bro stole a Drago effect. That's fine, don't worry about that. But yeah, there's just so many good potential cards. But we are now. He already was the strongest duelist. They didn't need to give him aura farming monsters on top. Was the Tremolo or Phaser leaked? Why are we going over these cards? So we were basically doing a whole thing about looking at the meta, and then we were talking about is the meta in a good spot because it's sort of diverse, but also sort of not. But also it's very OTK heavy, and then we were talking about things that would be coming in the future, and that got us talking about what might be coming with the Worlds announcement, and then that got us talking about how we think it's going to be maximums from Go Rush, and then we were talking about what impact those maximums would have on the metagame, and would they be overpowered or would they be fine, and we were saying about how none of the maximums are like OTK machines. They're sort of kill your opponent over the course of 2 turns, so the meta is actually in a good spot for them to come out, because they wouldn't just be more OTK decks thrown in. And now you're caught up. Nope, just speculation in September. This is probably the only max I'd enjoy playing, as it's not OP. It's very annoying to play against, I'll tell you that much. Like, it's just basically like a big towers. It's very annoying when you play against your opponent and you go, I just can't get rid of this thing. It just won't go away. Joint at maximum when? Before Hero, surely? I mean, potentially. Please read Fusionic Reverb. Alright, let's have a look. Is that one of the new cards? Or is that a card that's on here? I don't know the card by name, I'll tell you that much. Oh, it's defense. Is it Fusionic Defense? Or is it Tribivan? Because if you have Reviven, I'm going to assume it's... Oh, this one. It is this one. That's fine, we'll read this one. This card I've seen a bunch. I've played against this a few times. I don't think I've ever summoned this card myself, though. During the main phase that you summoned a monster, send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard, draw 1 card. Then you can special summon a high dragon-type fusion monster from the graveyard. If you special summon a monster by fetch, you can add fusion or polarization. I mean, it's fine. It's not anything, like, super crazy. Like, in Duel Links, this would go quite hard. Now, tomorrow, we don't have really good draw spell for Phaser. Don't we have the really good... It's not really good, it's just, like, it's okay. Like, the best one would be... Heavenly. This would be the best draw spell for Phaser. We have, like, the second best one. We have the Sea Serpent one. We have this one. So we have Clashing Twin Tides, but this card isn't... This card is, like, fine, but it's not, like, great. Whereas this one, if it ever loads, is genuinely really good. Star of the Beginning. Star of the Beginning is a weird one, though, because that, again, is really, really good. Yeah, this would be the one you'd actually want. Which is send any number of monsters from your hand to the graveyard. If the total level of those monsters sent to the graveyard effect is 10 or higher, you can draw 2 cards. This is what you really want, because filling up the graveyard is good. Also, this guarantees you're going to draw 2 new cards. Like, Clashing Twin Tides is a bit weird, because you shuffle it into the deck. You could just immediately draw it out again, which is, like, not ideal. But yeah, Heavenly Gift is what I want, personally. As well as all the other Heavenly cards. The Heavenly cards are just really, really good. But. What we should do now, we've kind of exhausted the Rush topic. I wasn't expecting to talk about Rush for this long. Imagine Ship of 7 Treasures and the Heavenly Draw spell as a selection. I mean, that's where I would expect to see them, right? Realistically. I really hope for some maximums, traps, and Heavenly cards for September. I mean, maybe. It's the issue of, I don't know if the Heavenly cards are good for the game. In the same way, I don't know if Elemental Circulation was actually good for the game. Because, like, now Hero is a deck that you can just turbo through your entire deck really, really quickly. And I don't know if that's ideal. Especially in, like, a 30-card format. But we're going to be shifting over now. We're going to be talking about Shadowverse. So, unfortunately, if you're not really into Shadowverse, this next bit is probably not going to interest you that much. But we're going to be talking about the new revealed cards for Infinity Evolved. So we've already had 31 out of 77 cards revealed. Shadowverse. Exactly. So we had a bunch of cards revealed. We're going to go through these cards. We're going to talk about them. Talk about our thoughts about it. Where we think they're going to go. What we think is going to be good. And what better place to start than Forestcraft. So I only play Havencraft, so I hope the support is good. Haven is actually getting some really crazy good support. I tell you, we'll start with Haven, because I actually do really like the Haven stuff. Where is Haven? Haven. This is Haven. We're going to start with Haven. First off, this card is insane. So this is Wilbert, Desolate Paladin. This is a 6-drop, 4/6. Ward. So it has Taunt, right, to anyone that's played Hearthstone. Last words, summon 2 copies of Holy Cavalier. And when it evolves, you gain a crest, Wilbert, Desolate Paladin. So the crest is, whenever an allied follower with Ward enters the field, give it +1/+2. So worst case scenario, this is a 6-drop 4/6 with Ward, that when it dies, you get 2 of these. Right? Which is just 2 1/1/2s. So for 6 mana, you're effectively getting, what, 6, 10 as stats? Which is already quite good. If you evolve this, and then it dies, these come out with the bonus. So these come out as 2 4s. So then, for 6 play points and a evolution point, you get this out as a 6/8, and then when it dies, it turns into 2 2/4s, and then we'll also buff all of your other Ward cards forever. Crest is forever? Yes, Crest is absolutely forever. They don't stack though, so you can't evolve like Wilbert twice and get 2 of these. You'll just have 1 of this. But still, whenever anything with Ward enters, you give it +1/+2 forever. It's still really good. Like, that's really, really strong. I'm gonna go cry because Tomato call my good take bad. I mean, you can cry if you want, Bankai. You're always welcome here. And we always appreciate a crier. I'm not ready for the new pack. I've still got 2 cards left to get from the current pack. Oh no. Unless it says countdown, it's forever, yeah. I don't think any crests have countdown, but... So then we have that other legend. 7-drop, 2/4. Fanfare, summon 3 random, differently named followers that cost 3 or less from your deck. So this is a weird card. Because, without having encyclopedic knowledge of every single 3 or lower drop in Haven, it's hard to judge how good this card is going to be. But this card to me reads like it's going to be busted. Like, I just feel like there's going to be some way to abuse this, where you'll only play, like, 1 card in your deck that is a cost 3 or less to guarantee you get that out, or something along those lines. Yudi does, and the Legend from Sword does. Okay. So, it is a Ward again, so it'll gain benefit from... God, what was his name, even? It'll gain benefit from Wilbert's Crest, which is already pretty good. And then when you super evolve it, give all the other allied followers on the field +0, +2, and Aura. Don't forget, Aura is the you cannot be targeted by spells, which is so, so good. Like, this card is just kind of bonkers, right? So this is clearly trying to take Haven in the direction of, like, build a board and try and have your board stick around. Like, we're going to give everyone a shit ton of defense, And we're just going to try and have everyone just last a long time and try and make it like a, you know, defense matters deck kind of thing. This is an insane curve from Wilbur. Exactly, exactly. Bro, a ward deck is gonna be so annoying. Yes, that is my one concern. And that is, I actually think this deck looks really cool. I think this deck looks really fun to play. I think this is a really cool style of deck that a lot of people are going to gravitate towards. Like, building a board and making your board stronger is a style of play that a lot of people like across a bunch of different card games. My concern is, if this deck is too strong, if this deck ends up being really, really good, I think this might end up being sort of a, like, spellcaster fusion situation that we have in Duel Links right now. Which is, everyone might gravitate towards this. This might start, like, polluting the ladder. And because of just naturally the way the deck is, it's going to be very easy to play. Right? The current iteration of Haven, I think, is actually kind of a bit challenging and actually requires a little bit of thought. Just slamming guys on the board that will have ward and buffing each other is a lot easier to play. Realistically, you're just playing cards on curve, super evolving at the appropriate time. There's not a lot of thought involved. And I'm a bit worried if this deck is too good, it's going to lead to like a lot of worse players performing better because their deck is overpowered, if that makes sense. But I am actually going to try and play this deck because this deck looks really fun. I think this looks really, really cool. The design is like Angel Feather from Vanguard. It is a bit. I'm not actually the biggest fan of Angel Feather in Vanguard. Their gameplay is fine. I never really like the aesthetic. I like paladins and like knights and stuff. I've never been like super big into like angels specifically. But I think this looks cool regardless. So then we have Agnes the Swiftblade. So it has Storm. First off, Storm. Very important that we do not miss out. It has Storm. So this on its own gives them another tool that on turn like 6, because that's when we have Super Evolve unlocked, you could just slap your opponent in the face for 6 damage, which is really important. Strike. If there are at least 2 allied amulets on the field, destroy a random enemy follower other than the opposing one. So if you have 2 amulets, you summon out Agnes, Agnes declares an attack, and then something that you're not attacking gets popped, which is so good. It's so good. Might have to play this game. I don't know if I'd play this deck, though. It's a really good game. I would say it is a gacha game, and it is not, like, super free-to-play friendly, unless you're playing the game every day, you're doing your dailies every day. If you just log in, do your dailies, engage with the systems, the game is actually quite free-to-play friendly. But you're not going to build a deck very quickly. You're not going to have, like, a completely constructed deck, like, day one. You'll have it, like, after a week, right? So if you're interested, I would say jump on it now, start getting your dailies done, start playing, because the quicker you do that, the quicker you'll be ready to actually play the game proper. All your guys have wards, so you just go face, then they have to clear wards, and that's how you clear their followers. Seems annoying. Board wipers are going to be huge. Well, that's the thing as well. I would say the deck that has the most board wipes is Haven, right? You have Jean, who just, like, AoEs for 6. You have the Crown that just pops everything on the board. You have... Christ, I can't remember what his name is. There's the legend that brings back the Crown from the graveyard as well. Maybe not the most. Maybe, like, Dragon has more. Because they have the everything gets -9. They have the discard a card from your hand, deal damage to everything equal to the cost of the card you discard. Every time I hear Angel Feather, I think of Dragon Deity of Destruction, guys. I mean, that's completely fine. Yeah, just let Duel Links die, Shadowverse, and this game. You want to get rid of Duel Links, Kim? Not even just Rush? Do you want all gone? Then this is a weird card. So this card, this is the art, which is like interesting. It's like a bunny girl with a sword, whatever. But this is Frenzied Devotion. 2 play points. Restore 10 defense to your leader. So for anyone that doesn't know, defense is your health. That's your starting health. So heal yourself for 10. Gain a crest. The crest has countdown 2. At the end of those 2 turns, deal 10 damage to your leader. So, like, this is a really weird card. I'm sure there's going to be, like, a really busted way to play this. But I don't know off the top of my head what that way is going to be. At the moment, this just looks like a really weird card that I wouldn't use, but I'm sure there will be a busted way to play this. I'm sure there will be. If they get their ramp going, Maeve isn't a legend, but yeah, she gets it back. Now I'm talking about, what was the guy called? The legend with, like, who's like the face of the current event. I forget what his name is. It pairs with itself since crests can't stack. I mean, kind of, but like, if you gain 10, you'd what, wait a turn, then gain 10 again, then take 10 off. I don't know, it's weird. Cleric of Crushing is their only other card. This is a ward, 2/4 3-drop, which again, ward is really important in this deck. Select a super evolved enemy follower on the field and destroy it. I don't know how often you'll evolve this, but in like some really clutch situations that will come up, it'd be really, really cool. It's a control tool to stall for a turn or two. I just don't know if it's going to be that good, I guess. I guess it's really important depending on how fast the meta is, right? Like, because right now we have things like Roach, but Roach can kill you from 20. Like, if they get the God Hand, they'll kill you from 20, so it doesn't matter. Outside of Roach, most decks are going to slap you directly for about 13. Like, that's kind of the upper limit they tend to hit. So using this to stay above 13 is probably worth doing, but we don't know what the new numbers are going to be with the new set, right, when we get all the new cards, so it's going to be hard to know. But yeah, that's it for those. I'll move this over here. So now we'll get into the Forest cards. So Forest, obviously right now, Forest is one of the strongest decks in the game. Forest is kind of nuts, right? They have Roach. Roach is obviously really, really powerful. So we're going to see if they have cards that either... If they make the Roach strategy stronger, obviously that's kind of a big no-no. But if they make the Fairy strategy stronger, that's a big yes, right? I don't know, Spell Boost does 1,000,000 damage in one turn. I mean, they can. The issue is Spell Boost is a bit more unreliable, I would argue. Like, Spell Boost is still really, really strong, but I think Roach is just the best deck in the game, personally. And I think that is in a sentiment that's echoed across most top players as well. But so, 4-drop, 2/2. Not the best stats for a 4-drop. Fanfare, summon a fairy, gain a crest. Titania, Queen of Fairies. So the crest is, at the start of your turn, add a fairy to your hand. So if you drop this on turn 4, for the rest of the game, you will just get a fairy every single turn. Select an enemy follower on the field and transform it into a fairy. So this is a really, really cool evolve, because this is removal, but also this has like some really weird interactions where you could, for example, turn one of your opponent's Abysscraft followers into a fairy, attack over it, a fairy goes to their departed pile, and then when they use like Cerberus, they could have to bring back fairy, which is really funny because they'll be trying to bring back one of their like the hand puppet dogs, and they'll just bring back a ton of fairies, which could be so funny. It could be so funny. I really hope this enables a new Forest deck. I want fairies, not Roach. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel as well. This card is just really strong, like just really, really strong. I think the whole like turning an opponent into a fairy is like unnecessarily cruel to Abyss decks though, right? Abyss decks have been in Struggle Street a little bit because their deck is extraordinarily punishing, and adding this card which specifically just dicks them seems like really mean. Seems really mean. You can get this and the other crest to get a fairy with Storm for some good shit. Yeah, and you could also use this and then use, what is it, Queen of Thorns, and then turn... No, because Queen of Thorns is it just on summon? So you could just use this to fill your hand with fairies, then Queen of Thorns to turn them all into burn spells? I can't remember exactly the wording on it. It's been a while since I played it. I played a lot of Forest early and then fell off it. So we have the 2 cost to make stuff 1 health too. Oh yeah, that's obviously really good as well. And then you could evolve it to ping for 1. We have Limaga Untamed Wild. So 7-drop, 7/7. Fanfare. Select 2 enemy followers on the field. Give them can't attack followers or leaders until the end of your opponent's turn. So this is a really good like stalling tool. Super Evolve. Select 2 enemy followers on the field and give them, at the end of each turn, deal 1 damage to your leader and 2 damage to this follower. So this is a really interesting control tool. The only issue is I don't know where this fits with the fairy strategy or the Roach strategy. This is just kind of a standalone card that's just kind of good. This is going to be so good. Glad I swapped the best doggo deck. Yeah, Rose Queen burns turns 1 cost into burn spells on Fanfare. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Like I said, I played a lot of it at the start, and then I kind of fell off it. But this card's really good. I don't know where this is going to fit. Like, it's just would you play this in Roach? Like, I don't really think it does a lot for the Roach strategy, but who knows. Then there's Garden's Allure. So, spell card costs 2, draw 2 cards. If you fused to this card, draw 2 instead. So we're going to be seeing some fusing going on. We're going to be seeing some fusing. Only deck this fits into would be Rose Queen right now, since it stalls turns for Rose Queen. I think this only fits with Fairy, gets you more chip. I mean, they're kind of the same deck, right? Fairy at the moment is kind of Rose Queen. And then we get Cynthia, Chivalrous Elf. Fanfare, summon 2 fairies. Evolve, give all pixie followers on the field +1/+0. This is, like, fine. This doesn't stand out to me as being, like, super crazy. Now, obviously, getting 2 fairies is pretty good because those fairies can just swing. Like, I kind of look at this as, like, a board breaker, but, like, it's only really good early. Because, like, at turn 4, getting this out, evolving it so it becomes a 6, getting out 2 fairies that also gain +1, now means you have 10 damage on the board that you can ram into your opponent's board. Now, 10 damage is really good early game, but, like, in the late game, 10 damage isn't going to be enough, right? Like, for example, if your opponent puts down their dragon legend that summons the other 2 dragons, that 10 damage ain't going to clear that board. It's just not. So, like, this is really good for, like, mid-game board control, I feel. Looks like an Amazon S monster. It kind of does. It kind of does. This is Zyconia at home. I mean, yeah. Basically, right? Basically. I don't think this is a bad card by any stretch. I think this is going to be really good to deal with aggro decks. This is going to be like the anti-aggro card, where I'm just like, turn 4, slam it down, evolve it, get things, clean up the board. Just get rid of all of your shit. Get them out of my face. I don't want to deal with it. And we have ads again. And you know what that means. It's time to hydrate. It's so good that I prepared this over about 3 hours ago, and this is still ice cold. Still ice cold. You can do this after the 6 cost, so they have Storm. I mean, you could. Even that, though, is only 4 damage face. That's not, like, an insane amount. Like, it's not bad. But it's also not, like, completely bonkers, oh, we're ending the game out of nowhere sort of thing. It's just kind of fine. Which, you know, again, is fine. It doesn't have to be overpowered, right? Alright, we've got 20 seconds till ads go away. And then we'll have everyone back and we can continue the yappening. Very important that the yappening continues. I don't know what we'd do if we couldn't yap. It would be such a dark day. Such a dark day. Could be late game. Depends on how well you manage your resources. The issue is, I think that in a lot of games, it doesn't... Depending on what you're playing against, a lot of the time, it's not up to you to manage your resources correctly. It becomes more... How greedy do you want to be in trying to hoard your resources, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to keep your resources as much as you can, but if your opponent is playing in such an aggressive way, you have to answer it in specific ways. You don't always get a choice, right? It's like, well, like, it's either do this or lose. So, like, I get what you're saying, but I think you very rarely have the luxury of choice. But that's it for the forest cards. Then we're going to go over to Swordcraft. All the Hikaris in the world. Everyone that loves going face. So we have Gildaria, Anathema of Peace. So this has a trait Anathema. We'll see if that matters. Fanfare Rally 20. Super evolve this follower. Whenever another allied follower on the field follower enters the field, deal 1 damage to all enemy followers. And when this follower evolves, summon 2 copies of Steelclad Knight and give them Rush. So this is really good. This, if you play it on turn 6, is fine. It's kind of... It's decent. But if you rally this out, this is so good. This is actually so good. If you get that rally effect off. Being able to super evolve this for free, it just comes out as a 7/7. You immediately get two 2/2s with Rush. And when they're summoned, they immediately burn your opponent's board for 2. It's just so good. It's so good. This card is going to be really, really strong. And I think this is also going to make the mid-range sword deck better, which is anything that makes mid-range sword better, I'm happy with. I don't really like face sword. I think it's a bit boring. So then we have another legend, Urius, Levin Authority. Fanfare. Summon 2 copies of Knight. Okay, it's more swarming. Its stats are a bit weak for 8-drop. Whenever an enemy follower enters the field, give it, can't attack followers or leaders until the end of your opponent's next turn. Deal 1 damage to the enemy leader and restore 1 defense to your leader. So this is a really strong control tool. My only issue with this card is, where are we putting this? I feel like Sword already has a lot of really good high drops. And you kind of need to pop off in the mid game. I also feel like 8 is a little bit too high costed for this card. I think this card needed to be 7. Because like at 7, it actually has a high impact. Because if you can get it out early with the play point, you can hit your opponent's 8 drops with this. And that can actually have like a huge impact on the game. The Knight summoned to the opponent's board. Oh, right. Why is it written like this then? I suppose it doesn't really matter. But as long as we know that, that's fine. Yeah, that's what it means. That's what it means. This is bad. Well, you give your opponent 2 knights. In a lot of ways, though, you're sort of clogging up your opponent's board. Isn't this effect busted? I mean, kind of, right? The other thing to remember is, you can just pop this out of the way, right? If you attack this with a guy you've already got out and get rid of it, its effect is no longer there. So your guys will just come out and not have this effect on them. If you play a removal spell and just get rid of this guy, again, his effect doesn't last, right? I actually think summoning 2 knights to your opponent's board could get really annoying. Because all of a sudden, they have these 2 guys on their board. They can't attack followers or leaders. Which means they're just stuck. They can't suicide. They're just stuck on your opponent's board. So it's like Ojama Knight, right? In a lot of ways. The effect is really good. The issue is trying to get them on the board. You still have to out what they can't attack with. Otherwise, they just do everything a turn later. I mean, that's the point though, right? The game of Shadowverse, in a lot of ways, is I'm going to wipe your board. I'm going to put some stuff on my board. Pass. Their turn. I'm going to wipe your board. I'm going to put some stuff on my board. Pass. Your turn. I'm going to wipe the board. I'm going to put some stuff on my board. And you do that back and forth as you're trying to, like, kill your opponent. Most of the time, you're wiping each other's boards constantly. So, like, an extra turn, I think, is actually really big in this game. The effect is really good. The issue is trying to get on the board. Hello, Oni, Musha, Raider. Welcome, welcome. You've caught us yapping about Shadowverse cards. We're just going over the reveals. I think this card is going to be really annoying. Everything this card does is annoying. It clogs up your opponent's board, which is annoying. It makes it so your guys can't attack, which is annoying. It burns your opponent and heals you, which is annoying. It's just really annoying. Wonder what Sword is going to do on turn 9 if this sticks on turn 8. Right? The deal is you get this on turn 7, right? Turn 7, you'll use your extra play point if you went second. Drop this down then. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. Without seeing all of the cards, it's not easy to know. Then we have Prim Princess's Picnic. So 2-drop 1/1. Fanfare. Add Nonja, Silent Maid, to your hand. And it has Ambush. Super Evolve. Give all other allied followers on the field +1/+1. That Super Evolve was a bit niche, but could be good. And then we have Nonja. Fanfare. If there is an allied Prim Princess Picnic on the field, give this follower +1/+1 on Bane and Ward. So, this goes to our hand. So let's say we play this on turn 1. Let's say we go second. We coin this out. I don't think we would do that, but we could. We could then drop this down on turn 2. This would be a 3/3 Bane Ward next to a 1/1 ambush, which like isn't awful, but I don't think that's worth the play point. It's an 8 cost. At that point, you need a board breaker, and they're already going to have a board to kill you. I don't think this does anything to us. I mean, we'll have to wait and see, right? Because if they get... Because the other thing they could do is give Sword a way to break the board that doesn't cost mana, or like cost mana the previous turn or something. Like, there's a lot of different things they could do. But until we've seen all the cards, it's hard to know, right? Then we have Rose, Princess Knight. So 3-drop 3/2, enhance 5, draw a Swordcraft follower that costs 2 or less, and set its cost to 0. I'm trying to think, what Swordcraft followers do we have at the moment that cost 2 that would be really good to go with this? Obviously, we have our Princess Picnic. So you could, like, use that, grab that, and then immediately get that to your hand. That's, like, fine. Rush and then Follower Strike. If the opposing follower is damaged, destroy it. So that's pretty cool. So if we attack an enemy follower that already has damage, it will die before we connect with it. Oh look, there's your 0 cost board breaker. There's the one that summons a knight and gives them rush. Yeah. That's not awful. I don't dislike this card, but like... Don't forget, you're paying 5 for this, right? You're paying 5. It's basically like... You're just paying the 3, and then you're paying the 2. So you're basically just getting a +1. I mean, it's fine. Samurai is the best one. I mean, Samurai is really good. Samurai is really good. So you can add it, summon, get a free knight with rush, attack with knight, then use this to kill a big thing, because now it has damage. I mean, potentially, right? Especially since this is rush as well, which is pretty good. I think, out of all of these, the most enticing one to me is Gildaria. I think Gildaria is going to be really good. Be interesting to see what actually ends up happening with that, but... we will have to wait and see. What's going on with my music? Let's fix that. Alright, now that's fixed. Alright, we'll go on to the next ones. So here we have Runecraft. Any Runecraft fans in the chat? Anyone like Anne? Anyone like Greya? Anyone a big Kuon fan? Because here we have Lilanthim, Anathema of Audacity. So this is another thing. This is another Anathema card, right? Because this was a... This is also an Anathema. I don't know if that's like a thing that's going to matter. There might be something that works with Anathemas. Rose is also nice to curve into Gil. You get a free proc of its effect without an Evo point, which is, again, really good. So here, 8-drop 5/5. Aura. Last words, Earthright 2, summon a Lilianthim Anathema of Audacity. So, it'll die. If we have Earthright 2, we spend those 2, we spit it back out. Immediately comes back. Has Aura, so it can't be targeted. Really, really good. Super Evolve, set 2 enemy followers on the field and destroy them. This is just a good card. My only concern with this is it's really sticky and really annoying, but it's still only really going to be hitting your opponent for 5 each turn. So, like, maybe it doesn't matter because the other Earthright cards will pick up the slack, and you'll still be playing this with, like, Kuon. Like, Kuon doesn't just, like, leave the deck for no reason, right? You're still going to be playing it, realistically. Then we have Pascal's Dance. So this is a crest. So gain an Earth Sigil, and then gain the crest. The crest is a countdown 1. At the end of your turn, draw a card. So you'll get 1 draw off of this. Earthright 10, double the attack and defense of all allied followers on the field. When does this go off? Is this all part of the same effect? Is this still at the end of the turn? So I don't know when this, like, happens. I assume this is at the end of the turn. Still. It's just written in a weird way. Sylvia for 2 more mana. I mean, kind of. I don't know if I'd go say it's like a good 1-to-1, but... I'm not sure how I feel about this card. I think I'd have to play with this card and play against it a bit before I'd know. Yeah, it's at the end of the turn. Yeah, that makes me not like this card as much. In some situations, this would be really good. I don't know if this is going to be good all the time. Obviously, like, doubling the attack and defense of, like, the 8-6 is going to be really, really good. Because, you know, a 16-12 is kind of a pain to deal with if your opponent doesn't have exactly destruction removal. So, like, pretty good. Then we have this guy. 3-drop 3-3. And he is Owen, Mysterian Swordsman. So, he has Ward, Clash, spell boost your hand. What is Clash? And on evolve, draw 2 followers. What is Clash? Does anyone know what Clash is? I'm very curious. I mean, I could probably Google it. Shadowverse Clash. Okay, Clash is... Effects activate before damage is dealt, whenever attacking or defending against an enemy. Oh, it's strike, but it's also on defense. Okay. So that's pretty cool. So just whenever it attacks or is attacked, you get to spell boost. So you'll probably get about 2 spell boosts off him. That's not bad. That's not bad. Now, there's not that many cards revealed for this, which makes me think they're going to have a really, really busted card. So we'll wait and see what actually happens with that. But this is pretty good. This is pretty good so far. Then we have Dragoncraft. Let's take a look at Dragoncraft. So, Feline White Frost Bloom, 2-drop 2-2. Fanfare. If you're in Overflow, add Whisper to your hand. It has Bane, and it deals 1 damage to all enemy followers that it evolves. So this is just a really good card. Like, a Bane 2-drop 2-2 is just great. Being able to sometimes get Whisper is also good, and the Evolve is not going to come up much, but it can be really good to, like, deal with early aggression. Like, fine. We also get the other legend revealed today. Oh, that's pretty cool. We'll have a look at that in a minute. We have White Frost Whisper. Select a mode to activate. Destroy all damaged enemy followers, which is obviously really good to combo with its Evolve effect. Or decrease the cost of all cards in your opponent's hand by 1 until... Increase the cost of all cards in your opponent's hand by 1. So this is kind of like an annoying... Stop them from comboing turn. This is actually going to be really good into things like Roach, right? This is like a super anti-Roach card. Like, there's just a lot of stuff that you do with this which can be, like, completely bonkers. And then we get this one, an 8-drop 4-4. So this is Fenny Radiant Phoenix, 8 play points, 4-4 Legendary Dragoncraft. Fanfare, halve the cost of all cards in your deck. What? Halve the cost of all cards in your deck. So, this doesn't do a lot unless we have draw power. Because unless we're like drawing 2 cards every turn, it doesn't matter that everything's cheaper. We're still only drawing a card each turn. So that's kind of whatever. I don't know if this is good. Right, what's your guys' opinion on this? My initial thought is this is not going to be good just on its own. Like, I don't know. I think this card is really hard to rate. It only halves the cards in your deck, so not the stuff that's already in your hand. You could start playing the cards that you play in like cock decks, where you put a card from your hand back into your deck and then get out another one. It's a meme, to be honest. Yeah, I don't look at this card and go, wow, that's overpowered. But at the same time, I really think Dragon could have really done with another good legend. Like, this one's fine, but it's just like kind of mid-game. And this kind of feels a bit throwaway. So I don't... Alright, Draconic Strike. 6-drop. Select a card in your hand, reduce its cost by 2. Deal 3 damage to all enemy followers. That's actually really good. So, this card is going to be good like on turn 5 and turn 6, I think. When your opponent is swarming you and trying to like apply a ton of aggro. You could use this to wipe the board. or at least almost wipe the board, as well as set up a play. Because now you could get like a 9-drop or an 8-drop out on the following turn. And that could actually be really, really important. Also, if you're playing like a cock deck again, if you're playing like ramp cock, you could use this on Cocytus and get that out 2 turns earlier, which could also be really, really good. Depends how well they ramp into it. I mean, yeah. I think this card could be really, really good. I think this actually could be a really, really, really strong card. Neptune, Arbiter of Tides. This card is awesome. 7-drop, 5/5. Fanfare. Gain a crest. Neptune, Arbiter of Tides. Summon 2 copies of Majestic Megalorca. So this is a 7-drop ward that immediately gives you a crest of whenever an allied marine follower enters the field, restore 1 defense to your leader. Which means this is immediately going to restore 2 defense to your leader, so it's going to immediately heal 2. And it has ward, which is like taunt, which is really, really good. Super Evolve, summon 2 copies of Megalorca. So if we drop this down, and then Super Evolve it, we gain 4 Megalorca, and we're going to gain 4 health. So really, really, really good. Really, really good. And Megalorca is a 2-drop, 2/2 rush. So we could immediately get 4 of these onto the board, all as 2/2 rush. That is actually insane. Like, this is really, really good. And it's just marine followers. So whenever any marine follower enters. So if there are any other marine followers, we could build a marine deck and gain even more, like, benefit from that. Maybe I'm a dragon main now. Neptune, my beloved. All the current marines, by the way, are tokens. The Orcas and the Otahime guards. So, the Otahime guards, they're the ones you summon off of the fan, right? So that means if you played the fan, every time you spit out a, like, 2/2 rush ward, you would also gain a health as well. That's not bad. I mean, plus, if we get any more, like, marine cards, that will just make this really, really, really good, I think. I think this is amazing. I think this is, like, one of my favorite cards that we've talked about so far. And that's it for the dragons for now. I think this is really good. This is a meme. And I think the other 2 cards are both really, really good. I'm quite happy with these. Still no Otahime Princess. We have to save something for later, Monosync. We can't have everything immediately. Alright, moving on to Abyss. So, Ginsetsu and Yuzuki, Twin Calamities. So my initial impression upon reading this card when it came out, Abysscraft's late game is sort of fine. They needed more early game cards. So that was my first initial impression. But Fanfare Selector Mode. Either summon 4 copies of One-Tailed Fox or destroy 4 random enemy followers, restore 4 defense to your leader. So this is actually not bad. The second effect I really like is, like, healing is good. Popping 4 things is good because you basically wipe your opponent's board and you set up a 5/9. This is a good card. I just don't think it's what the deck was missing. I think Serb sort of does this already, and therefore we didn't really need this card, but this is still a good card. And then One-Tailed Foxes are Rush, Ward, 2/3, Last Words, give a random allied Ginsetsu and Yuzuki Twin Calamities +1/+0. So if we summon this out, we can summon 4 copies of this. That gives us 4 2/3 Rush Wards that can also buff it, which is really good. It's really good. When the Otahime won't stay close. So then we have Charon Stygian Oarswoman. So Fanfare, reanimate 2 and reanimate 1. So that's already pretty good. So for the cost of 5, you get an extra 2 and an extra 1. Whenever an allied departed follower enters, give it ward. And both the cards you bring out will have ward. Really, really good card. And if we can keep this around, getting out anything else is also going to get ward as well, which is also really, really good. Super Evolve, gain the crest. The crest is, at the start of your turn, reanimate 3. So the only problem with this card is it has countdown 2 on the crest. And I think that sort of kills it, and I don't know why you'd ever want to Super Evolve this unless you absolutely have to. Having countdown 2 on the crest means you're only reanimating twice. And they can only be reanimate 3 as well. Which, like, massively reduces the quality of what we're going to get off this. I don't think Super Evolving this is going to be worth it a lot of the time. But this is still great. Like, we wanted more 5-drops for this deck. This is perfect. This is exactly what the current Abysscraft deck wants. Then we have Laura, Cruel Commander. 3-drop, 3/2. Fanfare, select another allied follower on the field and give it Bane. really good. Obviously, we have lots of ways to get out little rush guys, little skeletons that we can have as 1/1s. Giving anything Bane is going to be really, really good. Super Evolve, select another allied follower on the field and give it Storm. Now, if this was Evolve, this would be insane. Because this isn't Evolve, this is Super Evolve, this now hinders how good this card can be. So, let's say best case scenario, we get to like turn 10. We drop this down as a 3, and we can Super Evolve it and give another allied follower on the field Storm. So now we'd have to have a 7 drop that is really big to kill your opponent. Now, what you could do is play this with Medusa, but Medusa's only going to be 9 damage, which like isn't bad. But obviously, if you can Super Evolve the Medusa itself, that would be better, but then it has to survive a turn, so like... But being able... This effectively gives you a way to just hit your opponent for 9 damage, which could be really, really good with the Super Evolve. Give them Mammoth Storm as a 10/10. Does that... Yeah, but again, you could just do Medusa and hit them for 9, which is 1 less damage, but Medusa isn't a shit card. So, like, I don't know if that matters that much. Mammoth Abyss, let's go. Kuon at home. Alright, this is... Let's take a look at the art quick. Nice looking art. So this is Exceller Nocturne General, 4 play points, 1/3 gold Abysscraft follower. Fanfare, gain +X/+0, X is equal to the number of other allied followers on the field. Deal 2 damage to your leader. Storm. So this is going to come out at maximum a 5/3. And it can slap your opponent for 5. Now, what you could do is put 2 of these down in a single turn and get 9 damage, which is not bad. Like, there's an option there. Elephant funny. It matters if your opponent has 10 health. I mean, it does. You're not wrong. This card gets absolutely bodied by Anagram. Yeah. Yeah. Anagram is just really, really good, right? Alright, what's next? We have... Portal! Portal time, guys. Portal time. Who's ready to cringe? Who's ready to cringe? So first up, Zwei. Symphonic Heart. So this is kind of like the mirror to Orcus, I guess is the way to think of this. This is the other like puppeteer. So Fanfare, summon Victoria. Whenever an allied puppetry follower enters the field, give it ward. So whereas Orcus gives everything Storm, this gives them a ward. This is like defensive Orcus. Victoria is a 6/1 rush, which is going to get ward because the other one's going to give it to it. Follower strike, deal X damage to the opponent, where X is this follower's attack. So basically this is like first strike from Magic the Gathering, if you know what that means. So basically you attack, your 6 damage will hit them before they hit you, so Victoria will most of the time survive, which is pretty good. Cringe crafting coming. Real and true. Exceller, the card that is only popular because of the voice actor. So next up we have this guy. Like, Hikari might start playing Portalcraft, is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But this is Karula. Mind Arts. 6-drop, 5/4. Fanfare. Select an artifact follower in your hand that costs 5 or less. Summon an exact copy of it. So, guys, did you want another Alouette? But it doesn't give you pieces to your hand, so calm down, calm down. It doesn't give you pieces to your hand. But it is a 6-drop. So you can just use this to just slam down another piece. And if you Super Evolve it, give this follower can attack 2 times per turn. So you could use this as a board clear option, where you could put this down at like 6, Super Evolve it so it has 8 power, then it can attack over 2 things. Which is pretty good. This card's very good. What an exciting effect. I don't actually hate this card. I think the only thing that makes this card really, really annoying is that Beta still does 3 damage. That is what kills this for me. Because in my mind, why wouldn't you just go like extra play point, Alouette, evolve Alouette, get out Beta, next turn, turn 5, summon out Alouette, get another Beta out, Turn 6, play this guy, summon out another beta. Like, it's so lame. It's so lame. I don't like that at all, personally. But, other than that, I think this card is really cool. I think it's just beta is what ruins this card for me. So glad they got rid of interesting and unique mechanic. Yeah, I don't really know what we did before, so I can't really speak to that. Then we have Carnelia, Ember of Darkness. Fanfare, gain a Gear of Remembrance. Oh, they did remember. They remembered that we do need gears still. We still need gears. So cards that give gears, still good. Select an artifact, follow it in your hand, and give it ward, and can't be destroyed by abilities. This card is good. I think this card is going to 100% make the cut. This is going into decks. The issue is, I don't know how often we evolve this. I think this is going to be one of those, like, 1 in 8 games you'll use this evolve. And you'll want to actually get the ward and can't be destroyed. I think other than that, you'll be like, oh, well, this isn't Alouette. This isn't doing what some of the other better evolves are doing. So, like, you do it when you have to, but not really other than that. But it's still good. I think this card sees 100% play in artifact decks. And then we have this card. This card's really cool. So first off, this artwork goes kind of hard. And this is Heartbound Alliance, 6 play, summon a Lloyd and Victoria. So obviously we know Lloyd already. This is what we summon off of Orcus, and then we get Victoria, which you saw earlier. I don't know how good this card's going to be, but it seems good, right? You put it down, you immediately get a 6 with First Strike, effectively, because it's got, like, follow a strike, hit your opponent. And then you also get this, which has... Oh, wait, this doesn't get Bane by default. Doesn't get Bane or Rush, because it doesn't have thingy next to it. Orcus. Lloyd can go fucking... To be fair, this version of Lloyd is fine, right? Because when he's not next to Orcus, he doesn't have the... He doesn't have the Bane. He doesn't have the Rush or the Storm. Right? So he's a lot weaker. Baneless Lloyd. Exactly. Exactly. So maybe it'd be fine. Another ad break. Right, we'll let this ad break go through. Then when the ad break's gone, we'll cover the neutral cards. God, these silly ad breaks. It's still 6 health to get over, and if you target other stuff, and you target other stuff until he's gone. Yes, he is still a good card, absolutely. But I think if he had Bane and Storm, he would be infinitely better than if he was just a 6 ward that protects. Or, not ward. No, it's... Yes. I for some reason I'm confusing ward and aura in my head, but no, I did have them the right way around. Alright, 30 seconds, then we'll go and cover the neutral cards. But, I mean, my thoughts of this is these cards are kind of cool. I don't really have anything negative to say about them, outside of this guy could be kind of lame if abused with the beta spammers. Alright, ads will be cleaned up in 10 seconds, and then we will get back to it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, neutral cards. Neutral cards. First up, Odin. Twilight Fate. Fanfare. Select an enemy card on the field and banish it. Now. Card. It's right there. It's right there. Up there. That means, theoretically, we have our first card that can get rid of amulets. This is our first amulet hate card. Which is kind of big. And it does banish the card, which means obviously it won't allow things to be reanimated. It won't allow like on-death effects to activate. Last words. So this card, I think, could have a pretty big impact on the meta. I'm just not sure where. Like, to me, this is like a side deck card in a game where we don't have a side deck. So I'm not really sure what we're going to do with it. But I think in a lot of situations... at 7 mana, though. Yeah, but this is also a Storm card. Which means this now means any deck could put this in and threaten 7 direct damage at any point. I'll play Kappa on 6. Surely nothing will happen to it. I think this card is worth playing. I think on turn 6, you could drop this, get rid of something your opponent has, super evolve it, go face for 7. Like, this could actually close games sometimes. And I think in some situations, this is going to be worth playing. Because even if you just save your evolve for it, you could just throw 6 damage at your opponent next to something you're already doing. I think Odin is a card that's going to be underestimated. I really think he is going to be underestimated. At least the new version is better than the old one. Again, I don't know what the old version was, so I couldn't tell you. Then we have these two. 2-drop 2-2. Enhance 5. Give this follower last words. If this follower were evolved, deal 4 damage to a random enemy follower. That seems really mid. Am I missing something with this? In order for it to do anything, you need to enhance it, so it comes down as a 5-drop 2-2, and you need to evolve it, which means you could evolve it with like Olivia, but even that's, I mean, I guess Olivia is the best choke, but then even Olivia with this doesn't seem good, because then you wouldn't get to enhance it. This is a good anti-aggro tool. I don't know, though, because you have to put this down on turn 5 in order for it to do anything. So it's a 5-drop 2-2. You have to spend an evolution point. So now you've got a 5-drop 4-4 that's cost you an evo point. You'd ram it into something. Assuming it dies, then you could do another 4 damage to something else. I just feel like there's better things you could do with 5 mana. Like, think about, like, Anne and Greya, right? Another great example. No evo point? Oh, it evolves itself with the enhance. Right. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that still doesn't seem... Is that... So 5 mana, you play a 2-2. I guess it evolves itself, so it's a 4-4. So 5 mana, 4-4. Yeah, I think that's the bit I was missing. Was the fact that it evolves itself for free. It auto-evolves if you pay for 5, yeah. Okay, this is better than I thought it was. This is okay. I don't know what decks are necessarily going to play this, but this is not awful. Olivia would put the last words online. Yeah, you're not wrong. And then we have the Angelic Maid, neutral, ward. If you've unlocked Super Evolution, give this follower +0/+3. And because, again, you'll probably want to play this in Haven, because, you know, ward matters in Haven. Indomitable Fighter just got overpowered. 2-drop that's not dead in late game can sometimes come up. I think it's more than that, because the most time this is going to be useful is, like, on turn 5. Like, when you immediately hit 5, if your opponent's, like, going super aggro, you'll play it then. Otherwise, it's kind of mid. So I might play it to deck build around Rose. I mean, potentially. But that's it. That is all of the cards. We've read all of them. That is all 33 of the cards that we had. I don't know if there's been an update. Ugh, that looks so gross for a second there. I don't know if there's been anything new that's come out. We have 36, so apparently 3 more cards have been announced. I just don't know where they are. Let's hit refresh on some of these and see if anything comes up. Well, not that one. Nothing new there that I can see. The issue is the Imgur stuff might not have been updated. Oh, hello. Here we go. So Norman, Adamant Alchemist. So this is a Runecraft card. 6 play points, 5/5 legendary Runecraft Mysteria follower. Fanfare, Earthright 1. Select a mode to activate. Summon a Guardian Golem, give it barrier. So Guardian Golem being a 2/2. Draw 3 cards or restore 4 defense to your leader. Evolve, replicate the Fanfare ability. Oh, the Guardian Golem's a different card. It's a 3/3 with ward. Okay, this is pretty good. I actually think this is really good. The only issue I have with this card is I don't want them playing Anne and Greya with this. Like, part of me is like, the Earthright deck can play Lilianthin, it can play Norman, but you could also just play Anne and Greya and Kuon. You could just play all of them, all in one, like, Earthright pile, and it would be really good. Very few other decks, I think, can just slam all of their legends into a deck and call it a day. Bro, Earthright mid-game is so good. Shame they've got no closers. That's right, just use Kuon to close. Right, here we go. Chaos Flame. So, a 3 play point Runecraft spell. X starts on 0. On spell boost, increase X by 1. Deal X damage split between all enemy followers. So it's another Wrath effect if you like draw it early, spell boost it a bunch, and play it late. I mean, that's pretty good. I don't know if this card will see play, just because I think space might be a bit tight in the deck, but this is a good card, I think. Rune needed more removal / Wrath, for fuck's sake. I mean, that's the thing, right? What they really need, what Rune really want, I think, is more early game Wrath. So they can just drop it on, like, turn 2, turn 3, and then have it, like, do a lot. The issue with this card is because it's a spell boost, I don't think it will be big enough on turn 3. Maybe it'd be fine if your opponent's got, like, a bunch of 1 defense guys. You can pop them with this. Maybe this will be good. Right, let's see if we've got any more dragons. That was 2 new cards. There should be 1 more new card somewhere. There we go. So, Corpse Soldier. An Abysscraft follower. Fanfare summon 2 Rotting Zombies. So that's a 6-drop 3/3 that summons 2 2/2s with last words, summon a Rotting Zombie, then remove last words from this follower. So it just, like, spams the board with dudes, basically. You can play this over the 6-drop Wrath guy now, if you wanted. I mean, you could. There's also another neutral gold. Let's see if it's been updated on here yet. Yeah, there she is. So this is Reyna United Angel. 7 play point, 5/5. Evolve. Evolve all unevolved allied followers on your field. The thing is, how do we make use of this? We can't just expect our board to survive a turn. Like, maybe you could play this in, like, in Haven. Because Haven is doing the whole, like, health matters thing, right? They give everything ward, give everything a shit ton of extra stats. Maybe they'll survive the turn. And then you slam this down and make everything even bigger. Abyss turn 6, play double Amulet. Does this go in Dimension Climb? I think it's a little bit high roll for that. I think at that point you might as well just play Cock, and I don't think you need this in that. But it's an option. Four 33 storms. 4/3/3 storms. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad. The rune card is crap as it splits the damage. If it was do that to all, it'd be good. Yeah, but I think, again, the idea of it is you want to be playing it early, right? You want to be playing it on turn 3 or turn 4. And at that point, your opponent isn't going to have, like, a ridiculous board. You just want to, like, ping 1s and 2s at things. Evolve all the fairies? Wait, so you mean, like, play this in Forest? I mean, maybe. Right, you can give them all Storm. We're creating a ton of them. And they're 0 drops. So you just, like, spam the board with them. Fairies are 0, right? Or a fairy's 1. I don't think now. Fairies are 1 drop. There we go. So yeah, not as useful unless you can reduce the cost. I mean, still seems pretty cool. I think there's going to be some stuff you can do with this. Obviously, the artwork is very Haven. And so Haven's exactly where my mind went. 2/2 buff to the board for 7 probably doesn't see play. Well, it's +2/+2 and rush, right? But does rush matter when what else are we playing on the turn we play this? Like, I don't know. Like, maybe you're getting something out for 3 mana if players on turn 10. I think this could see, like, I could see this as like a 1 over a 2 of in Haven, though. Maybe. I don't know, it depends how much, like, the high curve is looking. But that's it. That's all of the cards. And that means that is going to be it for the stream. We were actually planning on playing today, but we got too caught up yapping about the cards, the rush stuff. Originally, we were just going to, like, talk about rush a little bit. We ended up talking about rush quite a lot. So, unfortunately, there will be no actual Shadowverse playing today. I'll probably play some off-stream, though, because I want to play some at some point. It just won't be for a little while. But, thank you all so much for watching. I don't know if there's anyone to raid. We'll have a quick gander. I'm not seeing anyone immediately, so we're probably not going to bother raiding into anyone. We're just going to call it there. We will be back again on Thursday, where we will probably be playing more of the Shadowverse, and it's Thursday. Thursday's the 17th, which means we should have the new box on the 17th, which means we'll be doing pack openings. I know everyone loves pack openings, so we'll be doing that. Yapathon indeed. That's the way we do it. That's the way we do it. But thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.